Okay. Ah, the sounds of programming. YouTube Great Core playlist. Hello, VOD viewers. Just give me a minute. Okay. I'll give you guys 5 minutes to filter in. If not, I can start describing things to VOD viewers. But then the problem is, I start describing stuff to the VOD viewers, and within like half a second, someone joins, then I have to re-describe it again. So I thought maybe I'd wait a minute. Hey, it's Donut. There you are. You're a good start. So since our last programming stream, I've probably put like 20 hours in or something, like off stream. I did some mining off stream. Let me show you its features. I can take you through what I've done. So I've settled on a new I've settled on a new resolution for the game. It's divisible by 8 and 16, so as far as I care, it probably fits on basically every normal monitor resolution. I'll put more thought into how it might work on widescreen or squished displays. That's not my concern right now. I'll probably just letterbox it. Or billboard it. We'll have to see. I think Tommy's got a widescreen. He could test for me. Or I could just use NVIDIA to make a virtual one. Anyway, I picked a lower resolution, and then as a result of that, I had to go through and just quickly and cheaply knock this back together so it fits on the screen. That wasn't really the point of the thing. What you'll notice is I've done some concept design. If you look at the right of the display, you'll see that I've come up with some concept art. Not that this will stick forever, but I've been having more thoughts about how the game's going to work and how it's going to look long term. So to give us something to do today, we're going to implement this. Right now it's just drawing on the right, but you'll notice a few things, right? From when we last streamed. First of all, the game is in 16:9. I'm going to go full screen on my side. It looks the same to you, I think. The game's in 16:9, but the actual play window is in 4:3. And I experimented a little bit and I messed around. I was thinking 1:1, etc., etc. But I really just came to the same, I think, realization that like the Nuclear Throne team came to, which is like 4:3 does feel better than 1:1. There is something inherently squished about 1:1 that you don't have in 4:3. Like, this gameplay feels nice, and there being the HUD on the side makes it completely forgivable that it's not taking up the full width. Because what I don't want is for people to see what we had before was if you played it in full screen on anything but 4:3, i.e. a modern monitor, you'd have these big black bars on the side, these big billboards, which looked a bit jank, a bit shit. And obviously you can fill it with concept art or like a background sprite, like a lot of the Toho games do, or a lot of shmups. They're vertical, so you see a lot of these border arts. I think that looked a little jank for our game, and while I still might do that for very wide resolutions, I'll probably just let it be black borders. Honestly, it's a niche enough for now. I don't really want to worry about it. Maybe I'll add art or a pattern or something. It doesn't matter. Anyway, you'll also notice that I squished the gameplay to the side, the left, and have the HUD on the right, rather than centering it. I did have some thoughts about maybe both pillars on the side could have information, like health down one side and other info down the other side. But with this newer resolution I've picked, which is like, I think it's the gameplay is like 192 by 144. Yeah, I'll go to this. Oh fuck, I've now lost it. The resolution's like 192 by 144, like the 4:3 one. So it's, 144 pixels tall, which is how many tiles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, it's like 10 tiles tall, so it's not much space. And in terms of width, I'm pretty sure this border on the right is only like, I think it's 64 pixels, so it's 4 tiles. That's not much room. And if you split that in half, 32 pixels wide is not much space to put any readable information unless I'm really going abstract. So I figured push it to the side. But it's going to be a bit weird, right? Because it looks like you're looking to the left of your screen. It's actually quite natural, by the way, just playing around. You kind of don't think about how you're not looking at the right side of the screen. Anyway, on that note, I experimented with how I was going to deal with the mouse. There were some issues before with the mouse, where if you went off screen, it would forget where you were. So now, that was a tiny thing. I just made it so it keeps track of your most recent mouse position. So if you go off screen and SDL or whoever, or Windows API or whatever, forgets where your mouse is, it just used the most recent position, which means you won't be able to see this. But like, I've now gone into windowed mode on my side. I can like teleport the mouse around to the top of the screen by going off the top and then on the bottom, which is natural. This is how games work. You know, they don't suddenly teleport your view to the middle when you go off screen. Likewise, you'll see that my view doesn't go off the right. You can actually see my cursor appearing for just a split second on the right here. But you see that like you can't peek under the HUD, if that makes sense. So you actually have a pretty reasonable amount of view. So as you mentioned, Donut, I indeed have built some kind of basic, not so basic, but semi-basic interpolation here with the camera offset. I've tried a lot of things for this, and I'm still not 100% happy with it, but I think it's good enough for now. So the way it works is quite simple. It just, well, I can show you. It'd be in components here. This isn't it, is it? This was a few days ago, mind you. I think it's this. So we basically just get where the cursor is. We clamp within the playable space. And there we go. Easy game. This little chunk here, we either store the known position. If we go off the screen and it forgets, then it'll try and use that. And if it never had a position, fine, default to center. This is a little bit of magic. So I was fucking around with just compressing your mouse movements to that 4:3 view. What I mean is, when you play in here, the actual playable mouse space is only this left 4:3 chunk. So the very first thing I implemented was super basic. I just changed this. This looks a little different to how you might remember, but we didn't have this playable stuff. We just had this screen size divided by zoom scale. Screen size here is the 16:9 resolution that encompasses the window. This playable area is the 4:3 on the left. I originally tried scaling the mouse into 4:3, which did indeed clamp your mouse to the left side of the screen, but it felt weird. You know how you aim with sniper rifles in TF2, how the zoom in resolution is based on 4:3, and you have to use a like console command to set it to 0.83, so your mouse feels like 16:9 movement when you're scoped in. It was that issue. Essentially, as I moved to the right, it was actually moving way faster, because it's your mouse in Windows would be moving at about 1.2 speed or whatever. You get what I mean. So I fucked around with it for a bit until I got to what I have now, which is your mouse is 1-to-1 with Windows. Like, this is my normal sensitivity. I can track something with my normal like muscle memory just fine. And it also means entity's currently broken. Oh, not entity, sorry. ImGUI. Every time this gets collapsed, I can't seem to bring it back, so I need to fix that as well. You see ImGUI's here? I can just mouse over it just like normal. When you have the view, how do I say, clamped to 4:3, you would find that as you aim somewhere, your mouse would suddenly enter the debug view, even though your cursor in-game wasn't there. Whatever. All I'm basically saying is your mouse moves exactly as you expect it to. It's clamped within this window, so you can't just peek off into the distance. So I found something new. I wasn't aware of. Normally, SDL or whoever's doing the mouse thing, Windows API, whatever. Normally it loses track of your mouse when you go off screen, but if you're holding down a button, it'll actually keep tracking even off screen. So you could basically hold left click and peer off to the right onto your second monitor, and you'll be able to see like miles to the distance. Which was stupid. So I fixed that with this clamp as well. So you can't see further than you shouldn't. And this brings a little bit back to the lower resolution thing. Even though you've only got like 144 pixels north and like on one screen at once, because you can move the screen around, and I've been quite generous with it, you actually have like double the resolution of what you're expecting, or like 1.8 times, which I really like. So it feels a lot less claustrophobic. If the screen's just stuck in the middle, it feels very small, like a little Game Maker game. But because you can view out to the side, it feels good. But in part of that, I also thought there could be a fun little project. Whether or not it makes into the final game, I don't know. But it'd be a fun project to have a mini-map. I think it's quite easy to lose track of stuff in these games. And especially if we have quite a small resolution, stuff can sneak up behind you if you're looking down to the bottom right. Having a mini-map might be really handy. And I can zoom it like quite far out. Like in this example you see here, the enemies look large at this resolution. I haven't changed the sprites for Treasure Mouse since COVID-19. Like these are just placeholder sprites. There may be enemies that are 32 by 32. Or I think these are 32. Are these 24 by 24? I don't remember. Don't worry about the enemy scale, but I don't think it's terribly wrong. I'm sure there'll be some enemies that are that big. My point being with the minimap is like, you see how on the right I've got the blue dot for the player, the green is for like maybe an item drop, and then the 3 red. I think I put a picture on Discord of this mock-up. If not, I can show you an Aseprite if Aseprite wants to load. Hang on, did I nuke it? HUD concept. Here we go. So I knocked this together. This is what it's from. In this concept, you can see the enemy is on your screen, look a little far. You know, they're about a third of a screen away. But on the minimap, they're right next to you. My idea being that maybe the minimap actually encompasses, like, you know, 2 views to the left, to the right, for example. If the whole screen is of size 1, then perhaps the minimap is a grid of 3 by 3, whatever. So you can have a bit more view on the game, and perhaps it gets hectic at some point. Perhaps you start seeing like 1 million dots, whatever. I think it's nice, and it will be seen if we end up using it long term, but yeah. Anyway, that's that. Regarding this, I said I fucked around with this for a while. I spent like a good long time thinking about different ways to do this. There's ways you can implement smoothing. So where am I doing it in this case? I think I'm not even doing it anymore. Yeah, I deleted this code. Okay, somewhere in here, you can just do a lerp between your position and where you want to be. And you can smooth that out over time, right? So it'll make the camera a little slow, but it means as you move, instead of the camera immediately shifting with you, like let's say, you know, this is the camera and this is the cursor. Right now they have a relatively 1-by-1 relationship. If I were to add this lerping, I could make it so the camera always lags behind a little bit. Obviously you can tweak that lag, but that's how a lot of games work, right? As you go to the bottom of the screen, the camera sort of pans behind a bit, and as you stop it smoothly goes back, and so on. I found that in this fast-paced game, it sucked ass to have any smoothing. Or if you wanted smoothing, you had to basically have so little smoothing, you might as well not have it. It's like such a minor little visual detail. And then I looked at Nuclear Throne, and I saw that just don't bother, I think. And I was like, yeah. Also, I had a bug that I couldn't be asked to solve, where my lerping was not done properly. So it added the blur back that we'd fixed before. I just said, fuck it. Let's make the game like snappy for now, and if I decide I want view smoothing later, we can just add it back. But I think the game is The game is low resolution, it's pixel art, it's gonna be headache inducing if there's like blur everywhere. But whatever. So I experimented with this and that's what I ended up with. That's the camera. Also, I completely rewrote the like enemy AI system. You might notice the mice are doing more than when you last remember, at least I hope you notice. Because I think last time, what did they do? They either moved or they shot, right? You'll notice that they're like doing things now, right? I spent like a while making these mice do stuff, and I can take you through that in a second. Yeah, look at them. All right, let me show you. I'll read your comments in a moment. I just want to go over my stand-up. Let me think. So, also, I should also preface, I don't remember how this looked last time you were here. At some point, the enemy component was full of shit. Like, this had loads of functions in it. And this, so did this file. And I was having more and more thoughts about how components should be a bit more data-driven, or at least less functionality, and how that's sort of what the systems were for. So I've moved most of that, if not all of that functionality, over to over to the enemy system. So these are quite lean now. We just got this little small calculation thing that's handy. I'm using this in a draw function somewhere to draw the line, the perception line. Anyway, you'll notice mice have a few more components to them. So the way they work now is they have a line of sight, and that line of sight can be adjusted based on their state. The idea being that when the enemy doesn't know you're there or they're idle, they only have a short line of sight, so you can sort of get a bit closer to them. And at some point we could even change this to include like direction, but right now it's just distance. I changed color scheme. Yeah, I noticed that I think they changed it for me, and then I tried changing back to the 2017 style, and then I was like, nah, fuck it, I'll just use the new one. I like it. My idea here being, if they're chasing you down, they should have a higher view, because they know you're there. It feels weird if you can just dodge in and out of an enemy's range. I think this is the new default, yeah. I might be wrong, but I just turned it on one day and it looked like this, and it was the top theme. So, whatever. Maybe something broke. Maybe I broke something. Who cares? Anyway, my idea here is enemies will chase you and shoot you for a bit longer. So you can get in their field of view, and then you have to run quite far to get out of it. And this can obviously be modified quite a bit in the future, but the basics are here. And it's based on some perception modifier. So some enemies can be quite short-sighted, some can see you from a while away. Moving on. This is the enemy system now. I don't know if you remember this, but it's quite a bit longer. One thing I do now is when I'm checking to see if the enemy should lose line of sight, I count up the number of failed attempts until I've just picked 15. It's a random number. The idea being that the moment you go behind a wall, it's not going to instantly go idle. Like, you have to stand behind that wall for some amount of time before they change state. And I found this felt a lot more natural. And you could adjust this by saying, like, the enemy forgets faster. I don't know. So that could be something you tweak. Like, the more basic mobs might forget you faster. The really elite mobs might... This might be 9999. You know, they might chase you down forever once they see you. I think that's a fun modifier to have. Currently, there's no proper pathfinding algorithm. Why is it mutable? Because it's just something I popped together at like 2 a.m. on a Saturday. Like, don't worry about it. Don't worry. Done. Anyway, that's just one thing. I basically did loads of work to try and make things feel a bit more natural. So, and I also extracted some stuff. I noticed that I was reusing this thinking behavior quite a lot, where enemies were having this countdown loop, and then adding on some fuzzy time and then thinking. So I've extracted that. We can have a look at how the state system works now. All the way down here, this is where the system's ticking over. So First it thinks, and if it doesn't need to have a think, it just skips over. That skips us from having to do any particular checks. We basically just check, is it time to have a thought? No? Okay, next enemy. It's nice. Minimizing the thoughts we have to have. It's possible we could even extract it further away than this, but well, whatever. Obviously that has repercussions. I'm aware. I've experimented with that as well. So it means when you switch states, it can take a little second for them to actually do something. I think that's fine. Anyway, we still have a couple of states. I renamed whatever this was called to alerted. I think it was called found target or something. That's alerted because it's sort of like boom, boom. Metal Gear. So things are a little bit more abstract now anyway. Most of the states are just basically rolling a dice and then maybe switching to a different state. All the meanwhile, double checking if they can still see the player. So if it's idle, we're actually looking for a player. Fine. If we can find one, great. While they're idle, for now, super basic. Just randomly move around a little bit. Nothing fancy whatsoever, but it feels a little nicer than just staying completely static. This is something to think about in the future if I give a shit at some point, to give them better idle behavior, like have them move a little bit in one direction or pick their nose or have a sandwich or whatever. But now it just, every now and then it will walk for a bit and then stop and walk for a bit and stop. There is no such thing as like a, what would you call it, like a range at which they patrol over, like a patrol range. I'll explain this in a moment. There's no patrol range. I don't store like their starting location and require them to stay nearby. I don't care. The game's super random. For now, just do whatever the fuck. If you want to group together in a corner, that's fine. Emergent gameplay. That's fine. When they're alerted, they check to see if they can still see the player, obviously, and sometimes they'll move at you, and sometimes they'll shoot at you. The idea here being they're more likely to shoot you, because it's a shooter game. This can be adjusted, obviously. The numbers are just made up. If they're moving at you, as I wrote here, they are more likely to, like, they check to see. The idea with the moving thing is they want to move towards you to shoot you. So if they already see you, they're more likely to start shooting you. If they can't see you, then fine. And this failed line of sight checks is like, that's the number that ticks up. For every single, like, I guess it's tick or whatever that it can't see you, this number goes up. So 0 just means we see you perfectly. Whatever. Just changes the odds that it starts shooting you. Very unlikely to shoot you if you're hiding behind a wall, but there's a small chance. If they're shooting you, they're checked to see if you're like hiding behind a wall. And in this case, instead of going into idle, if you're hiding, it goes into moving to target. So I imagine I'm going to write some implementation of A*, or at this point I'm sure there's some fucking stupid pathfinding algorithm some guy on Twitter made that's way better. When do they throw a grenade, exactly? So for now, if you're behind a wall, they're going to move towards you, but in the stupid way, like they are just going to move at you. Which is fine. It's a bit of a placeholder, but it's fine. And as they're shooting you, sometimes they'll fuck around. Sometimes they'll move perpendicular. So I'll go into this start moving to target code that you've now looked at. Really, really not fancy at all. I've basically added some super shitty strafing. It's not orbiting. There's nothing fancy going on. I just googled how do you find the perpendicular angle with ATAN2 or something like that, and it was like, oh, you just flip them and then -1 and -1 on the other side. That's all this does. So if they are attacking you, if they're shooting you, there's a small chance that they'll strafe a bit, which looks nice. Like, it sounds a little jank. I don't know, maybe it sounds good. When you're fighting a scout in Tier 2, like, they'll AD. I don't know what code change I made or why it's recompiling. I'm a little concerned. But if you watch their behavior when they're shooting you, when they're red, you'll see that sometimes they strafe a little bit. If you want to start shooting me, that would be really nice. No, he's not. He's not feeling it. Oh, yeah, you see this? He just occasionally moves. And it's not particularly perfect, and I'm sure my maths is a little wrong, but it just feels a little more natural that they occasionally shuffle a little bit. It's nothing fancy at all, but I think a lot of these enemy AI systems rely on you having loads of tiny little systems, which individually are a little shit, but then when you add them all together, it feels a little smarter. It looks good, and it gives us space to do other things. Maybe some enemies will dodge roll, or they'll fly, or they'll teleport, or they'll do something, and that action can go in this state. While they're shooting you, they'll do something. It's the basics, but it gives you the idea of how it could work, right? And I've absent-mindedly sat in like a Discord call just running around shooting these creatures, and it feels good. Like I completely forgot I was meant to be doing game dev at some point. I can't remember what I was doing. I think Tommy was showing me his like Diablo gameplay or something, and I was like, I'll do some programming on the side. I didn't. I was just watching him on the other monitor and just running around shooting, which I think is a sign that you've made something interesting. Like it just feels nice. You'll also notice, maybe not, enemies don't have as much intangibility as they used to. I think they used to have about 150 milliseconds, so you'd shoot them and they wouldn't actually take damage for another 150. Now it only flickers for about a second, so if you keep shooting them, they'll go. And you'll also notice that bullets get destroyed when you shoot stuff. Before, everything was piercing, which was OP as hell. Now you notice that bullets get destroyed when either they hit you or you hit them. It's a small thing, but it's basically mandatory. Another thing I'm going to work on is making them get destroyed when you shoot at a wall. That'll be a little bit more complicated. Not insanely so. We've already got code for wall collision, obviously. But doing it properly, I think, will be a little bit more complicated. Like, do we give the bullets a physics component? Do we add a new component called collides with wall? I don't know. Do we just duplicate the loop? I'd rather not. But, you know, there's all sorts we could do. I'm sure there's even an easy way to fudge it, so that's something to look at. I also drew a crosshair. That's a really small thing, but, you know, it looks nicer than that orb we saw. And you saw in the concept art, I had some very basic idea of, like, just some shitty little gun. So instead of that little orb orbiting you, you'll actually have your weapon attached. That should be obvious. Thank you, Cold. Let me think. You were asking about you hope there's crosshair customization. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Maybe we can even just let people draw their own crosshair. I don't know. But for now, movement input is what the enemy's using. And I'm just using float max to mean don't move anywhere. Because there's no angle that's float max. And I like this kind of little function for my own little silly game. I could have made the angle optional. There's all sorts I could have done. I didn't want to deal with minus in case I wanted to pass in a minus angle for some reason, I don't know. That's all this is. When the enemy wants to move in a direction, it holds a digital stick on their gamepad. And when you want them to stop moving, you just pass in float max. You know, I originally tried just doing 999 or something, because that's unlikely, but in some likelihood that I add enemies spinning or something, by just increasing their angle constantly, this is future proofing. If we actually get to float max and they stop moving, who cares? Why not take a Vec 2? Why take a Vec 2? So I just wanted to pass in an angle. This was refactored from something else, so I basically just refactored it in place, and I was using a float angle there. It's also nice here, because when we're doing the random movement, I want to pass in a random angle. I think it's just based on pi, question mark. Where did I put it? Hang on, random angle. I think this is just pi halved or something, right? Yeah, well, pi doubled, sorry. It helps with my random number generator to just be able to pass in an angle. I'm going to do round trip from direction angle to direction as often. Okay. This is just what I'm doing for now. The camera following the player between the camera following the sensor between the player and the crosshair made it worse, too dizzying. Part of that will just be the fact that you're not playing it. I can say, like, as a player, it feels way more natural to have the camera look where you're looking, because I'm looking at my crosshair, right? This feels very natural that, like, I'm looking where I'm looking. I'm not looking at the whole screen at once like you are. I'm just looking at where my crosshair is. I mean, I'm not going to go through my whole. I've just been talking for 30 minutes about the changes I've made, so you can watch the start of the VOD if you want to see my explanations of why I've done this stuff. I mean, the game's running at 200 FPS. It could run a lot faster. Something I've introduced has lagged it out at some point. I don't know what. I'm sure I could work it out. Maybe if we killed all the enemies and we find out that it's the enemy AI system. I don't know. I'm sure we're just overdoing a calculation somewhere. Not a huge deal for now. I have a feeling it used to run closer to 360 though. Obviously, if we take it out of debug mode, it would be nice. So maybe it's just the fact that we're using debug mode and shooting a bunch of bullets. Something about the quad tree maybe is confused. I don't know. If it takes an angle mainly for ease of use, a more general solution would be an easy angle to direction function. Right. You're trying to do something similar to me, but in Java. Oh, cool. Let me know how it goes. How is progress? I've heard of a game called Arkvale. I don't think so. There's a lot of games with the word arc in the title, though, so maybe. Oh, you'll also see that I made the line of sight thing a little transparent, so that's probably not helping. You can actually see the line of sight thing in play. If I hide behind this wall for a second, you'll see him eventually go idle. As he walks away, hopefully to the right, he's walking to the left, he's going to see me again. Well, I was going to say their line of sight is shorter when they don't see you, but who cares? I'm still not super fond of the function that we're using to draw this line of sight. It's a little jank. Like, if I stand up next to a wall, they can't see you. This doesn't feel quite right to me. It's just the way it's painting, like, the angle or the line into the world to detect line of sight. It is cheap, and, like, we're basically punished by that. Obviously, we could just increase the line of sight thing and make it so, perhaps enemy bullets go over walls, and it's okay if they shoot you over walls. You know, we can make it so instead of drawing a single tile to do line of sight, we do 3 wide, so it's more likely to see you in this spot. I don't know. But here, look, you're standing against a wall and they can't see you all of a sudden. It's jank. Although they can see you on the right. So I'm wondering if maybe we just need to offset this line drawing function, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. Do you know what I'm saying? If I stand on the left side of the wall, if I stand on the right-hand side of the wall, those lines were green. If I'm on the left, they were red. So I'm thinking that maybe we just need to offset the position that we're reading for line of sight by half or something. Oh, does it only work if there's like a whole line of them? Hang on. You can see them, by the way, they're all basically going into chase mode when I go far away. That part of the impact of this countdown to line of sight thing is like they will keep chasing you for like until they've lost line of sight for 15 ticks, basically. So I thought that was a really cool side effect. See? And they're more likely to chase you if they can't see you. I don't know. I just thought this all worked really nicely. Hang on, you can see me now. So why were these red in that other level? There you go. And with the slight random movement, they can actually find their way around walls surprisingly well. It's kind of silly. Who's DMing me? Okay, now the line of sight seems to be working, so I'm not sure why earlier it was red when I was against a wall. That's weird. I don't know. Whatever. That's what I've done. That took half an hour to talk about, but that was the Apex points. I don't need to read all this. I just need to stretch. Anyway, this is just what I did. I'm just basically talking about how I've done like 20 hours or something of work. And I had some stuff I wanted to work on. You've done the camera thing in a top-down World of Warships and it worked great, but you had a zoom-out feature. Yeah, I mean, we have the ability to zoom the camera out, but because we're such a low resolution, it looks shit. Like, pixels start becoming... Like, a square pixel starts getting drawn wider or thinner based on the resolution, so I'm not fond of that. Obviously, there's ways around that, like rendering the game at like actually doing all the pixel art at quadruple resolution. or upscaling it by 4 times and then rendering, actually playing at a quad resolution. I'm not fucking with that right now. I'm just going to keep this kind of low-res aesthetic. Anyway, you had some suggestions. So, I mean, you basically the same thought I had about the minimap, right? Do you want it to use... what did you say? Oh, do you want it to be in a radar style? Because in theory, you can just zoom to render a low resolution of the world. Yeah. I mean, I basically just thought that there's loads of ways. That's something to do. There's loads of ways to do the minimap. I arbitrarily picked a square because I thought it'd be easiest to do. There's a million ways to draw nearby actors on the screen. Even just iterating over all entities and drawing them as a dot is probably fine. I think we're already doing that in one of the render areas, like render actor. In render actor, I could also just render it in the minimap while I'm at it, you know. I'm already doing the loop. Why not? I'm definitely doing multiple loops more than I need to. Anyway, you mentioned, have you tried using the logarithm of the camera? I think I did. I have purple links to every Google result to do with like 2D game camera. So I'm just saying that I came to my current solution after like a day of fucking around with it. I just decided me, the developer and the only player, I like the snappy movement like this. So I'm going with this. But it's something we can always modify in the future or allow settings for. I could turn it off. There could be a setting to disable it if you're saying it gives you a headache. I could just make it so the camera, it's a setting, you know? The image logic seems good apart from relying on the tick rate when specifying stuff like waiting 16 ticks. Yeah, don't worry about that. Yeah, don't worry about that. This is all fucking proof of concept. Don't worry about it. For the love of God. It's fine. We will make more and more as we go on. We'll tie more things to the JSON file and to time and whatnot. But for now, this is appropriate enough for now. Don't worry. It's explicitly as well that it's meant to count up. So you'd have to count hundreds of milliseconds missed or something. I don't know. Not a big deal, obviously. If the only thing that stuck out, if it's the only thing that stuck out, I can fix it now. I thought there was more that I needed to redo. I was just sick of this because, as I just said, I've just spent fucking 20 hours on it. But we can keep working on it, I guess. I was gonna say let's do something fun like implement the HUD, but okay, we can go back to this. Maybe I'll forget and be confused when I triple the tick rate. At first glance, nah, buddy. You see this. Anyway, I'm guessing that we will be able to pass in something from tick here. Process tick time? Process tick count? Tick time? Accumulated time in seconds of all ticks. That's not it. I guess it's just tick interval. No. Process tick time. We could... I don't want to do tick count. It'll be tick time, I guess. We would just store the current process tick time. I mean, I could also just multiply it by the tick rate. And then I don't have to change any logic. You're doing similar timers. Oh yeah. I'm just thinking about how I want to implement it. Obviously the thinking relies on this. I just think it's not quite as trivial as just having an int that counts up and gets reset to 0. See? Failed line of sight checks is just something that goes up. If you miss the line of sight check, It goes here. It's quite literally the number of failed line of sight checks. I'm thinking maybe we just multiply this by tick rate or something, and we define something, and then that saves us a whole lot of work. Seconds float. Yeah, but this isn't number of ticks, this is the number of failed checks. You can't have half a failed check. Right? The way it literally works right now is how many times it's failed, and we reset that number every time that you succeed. It would have to be like, with your timer system, is there like an explicit reset function? You can have half a second's worth of failed checks. Alright. Can you reset your timers? This countdown loop. Is there a reset function in here? Time is blah. Why exactly does that reset it? Hang on. How am I doing the thinking now? It's basically this, right? Zero initialization. By time you mean timer, right? Let's have a think for a moment. So instead of failed line of sights check, you're saying that we should have a float called timer is just a time under the hood. Alright. Time last seen. It's a little off, but it's off by 1 tick really if you were to call it time last seen. Time first failed line of sight checks. Something like that. So this would be... I'm not passing in the tick info, am I? No. Well, it would just be float time, I guess. Whatever. And then in all of these, we need to pass in the tick info dot whatever. Time since last line of sight. Well, as I said, I think technically that's off by 1. I don't really want to have a misnomer of a name. Is that process tick time? Like, should I be treating this as system system time millis example? I'm obviously not tied to real world time, but it's just a big number that gets bigger every time it's updated. No, I need to pass in the tick interval. Alright, fine. You can be a reference, I guess. Why not? So you can be tick info dot tick interval. You can be time since thingy plus some amount of time, plus a second, for example. Do you not take a float here? You don't want to be a float. You want to be a time float. Right? When it comes to discrete time simulations, every timer is off, number is off by 1 depending on which way you look. Sure. I've missed something. Almost everyone to match the next day once it's too late. Sure. No velocity function can convert the thing. Hang on. Countdown loop wants a time. Are you angry because I'm adding 1F to it? This is a time float. Do I have to convert this to a time? It seems kind of stupid. Oh. Wait a moment. If I don't do the 1.f thing, you just work. Yeah. Why can I not append you? How about we'll just say time to lose line of sight, because that's kind of what we care about. Time when lose line of sight. Time when I should lose line of sight. I'm gonna give it a really stupid name because I think stupid names make the code easier to read, if that makes sense. Because then I can just say it's process tick time. Oh, plus I still can't do fucking 1.f here, can I? Flow part to time specifically. Okay. What's wrong, little guy? Maybe you just need a little compile. Yeah, maybe duration. I kind of thought this would just work. It might just be a thing where you compile it and it works. No? Oh yeah, let's try the duration thing. Do I normally write this? I don't know what Axios is. So I guess not. What happened? The streamer? Alright, I mean obviously I'm just doing something wrong. It's a JavaScript library. Ah. What did it handle? Super popular in programming. I'm afraid I don't use JavaScript. Ah, okay. This makes sense. What does it initialize to by default this time? Does it just go to 0? The fetch alternative. What does fetch do? JavaScript fetch. Making HTTP requests. It's a HTTP library. The owner got hacked and the hacker uploaded malicious code to the library. Yeah, I mean, that happens every 5 weeks. It's purely just like a HTTP, like a async HTTP library. No, smiley face. No need for XML HTTP request anymore. He got caught. F panther string. I don't remember that shit. What was another one? There was like a Veritasium video on it, but I remember it also being just big news. Even though his like clickbait was like, no one's heard of this. It was like some like fucking Swedish dude that had written some compression library, gzip or something. What was it? Xzip? I don't remember what it was called. And some like mysterious group tried to use him to get into open SSH or something. Left pad situation. JavaScript left pad string hack? One programmer broke the internet by deleting the left pad? I hate that this opens inside OBS, so I don't get all my ad blockers and stuff. He took down the left pad package he'd put on RPM. Holy shit. Oh, alright. Yikes. Heartbleed. No, but Heartbleed is what I named my hat in TF2 after. So thanks for reminding me about that. I was not talking about Heartbleed. I was talking about the someone tried, someone like socially engineered the one developer of this really common compression library to take control of his GitHub repo, because it was like a dependency on open xedutils. Yeah, it was a dependency on like open SSH or something. So he was gonna like have a payload where, how did it work? It would like send private keys to him or something. I don't exactly remember how it works, but it was crazy, and it was only caught by like one guy who thought this looks a little off. It was a nice Veritasium video on it, honestly. It was cooler than the articles I remembered reading on it. Anyway, how do I say this? A default constructed time float donut. Is that just going to be 0? Can I just check for 0 then? What's wrong? Yeah, 0. Alright. Exactly 0? It's a float. Symbol cannot be defined within namespace, anonymous namespace. What are you talking about, little guy? Exactly 0. Banging. Alright, let's see. What seems to be the problem here? Why? No, hang on, we do want that. It's an anonymous namespace. That's on purpose. You fool. Are we passing the right thing in? Tick info. Exact pattern of all zeros as well. Oh yeah. What have I fucked up here? Cannot convert argument 4 from tick. Okay, something in the lambda is broken. Hang on, just a moment. Simply this. I really hate that I've started like learning how to fucking debug these compiler problems. I was in that call with Tommy I was talking about, where I was just playing my own game, and I got this horrific compiler error, and I was like, oh, I know exactly what this is, and it was something really trivial. It was I think it was just like an include loop. What do you call it? Recursive include? I don't know what the error is called. I was just like, okay, fine, I just need to extract this thing to the source file and include it there. Easy peasy. Somewhere else I'm doing this wrong. 0f. Color output thing didn't work. Yeah, I also found I was able to get my printing working again. All I had to do was use the default standard cout once, and now suddenly it works again. Restarted my PC since. No idea what that was. Pretty weird. Yeah, we weren't getting our FMT printouts there. I don't know why. Alright, anyway, what's the actual error? Tell me, game. What's wrong? Let me just check the fucking GitHub. HUD concept, changes, enemy system. Missing Yeah, I want to see where the missing colon is. So maybe I just removed it by accident. Doesn't look like I removed one. This now has tick info. This now checks a float. Same. Same. This is... Oh, hang on. Is it? I've just added an extra bracket. Is that right? Oh, am I missing a... Hang on. Get me out of this. Is it? I'm just not done this lambda properly up here, have I? Where's that fucking thing? I was just looking at it. You look normal. This looks normal. It's missing a thing right before the namespace ends. Yeah. The function. That's it. I miss when rainbow brackets were actually rainbow. Now you're angry. Void function does not require... Oh, okay, you need to be moved down one. I hope this still works. If it does, the idea is they just lose line of sight in a second. Whoops. Right, he's aware of me. He can still see me. Yeah, let's try and find a different one. Big level, huh? He does not seem to have forgotten about me. Hang on. You're stuck. You should be able to forget about me, right? This is certainly not 1 second, is it? Oh, it's because I'm constantly updating it. Oops. That's stupid. Alright, we'll fix that. You just popped up on my YouTube homepage. Are you not in Twitch? Okay. Did you switch between them? What made you choose VS Code? I use VS Code at work. But even before that, Donut in chat. I think when I first worked on this project, it was at the start of COVID. And, yeah, I mean, what you've said is basically why I stream on both platforms. He's tricked me into it. Well, so, like, how old am I? Like, 8 years ago, I was doing my degree. Yeah. Oh. I did my degree, like, 8 years ago, and I did my dissertation in Unreal Engine. I made a procedural golf game, which I can link you. Maybe you'd like to see this. I don't know. I found out there's a bunch of new golf games on Steam, and one of them was procedural, and it made me remember. Procedural golf, Woolen. Now some other people are showing up. Some other people have made fucking procedural golf because I didn't get there fast enough. Did you learn coding? If you enjoy it, or you think it's a good career path. Apparently I can't search for my own fucking game. That's crazy. But whatever. I did Unreal Engine for this 7 years ago. Here you go. It was my last year. That was Unreal Engine. So I was forced to use full Visual Studio Community. This was UE4, by the way. I think 3 had just ended. I don't remember. Maybe 3 was a few years before that. Anyway, so I'd actually wanted to start my original version of this game on VS Community, and if you go back and look at really old Twitch VODs, so I've streamed basically my whole process. You'll see that I was using Visual Studio full fat, and then at some point, Donut convinced me somehow. He only helped me to set up the project in VS Code or something, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just get used to it. What is this game? It's a shooty game. You shoot stuff. Pew pew, pew pew pew. There's nothing to shoot. Oh, here's some mice. Go to the debug view. Look, the mice, shoot them. Look at this. Right now they're not forgetting about us fast enough because I was stupid. I just need to do this. Or even, don't even have to do that. I can just say, if, blah. Just only reset it if it's 0. Otherwise it's, you know, a second's a second, right? Hey, bro. Hello, bro. A lot of bros today, huh? I'm okay. My ear hurts a little. What was that? My ear hurts a little bit, but I'm alright otherwise. You should lose silent sight in a second, right? He doesn't seem to care. Something's wrong. Hang on a moment. It's not probably not gonna work here. Maybe it will. What's your line of sight? Come on. You should lose line of sight in like a second then, huh? And the game does not like it when you tab out, holy shit. I don't know what that is. That's something where you need to fix. Are you sure it's 00F then? I guess it is. It's getting in here once. It's trying to catch up on ticks that it's missed. That makes sense. Don't know if there's anything we can really do to fix that. Force the game to crash, maybe. V3 will let you skip ticks. Nice. You start using VSC for C# when you're doing game dev. I've just decided to just live with it. I kind of hate VS Code, but it's just a tool at the end of the day. I want to write code. If this is what everyone's using, I'll use it, even if it's this horrible Electron application that occasionally you have to shift control E, restart window, and whatever. Wish IntelliSense was as good as JetBrains, but whatever. What are you talking about? Not all paths can return a value. Which path's not returning a value? Oh, you want me to tell me? It's to keep it a secret. Okay. Anyway, why is this not working? If I don't have the plus second thing... What happens? Does that behave differently? Donut, you fucked me. What happened? The semicolon after the namespace is still there. You don't want that? You're not a namespace semicolon guy, are you? Alright. I thought you do put semicolons after namespaces. You don't? Anyway, this isn't working. If I do... Come back, semicolon, I missed you. No, they don't need one. I've always written one. Oops. Learn something new every day. If I set it to -1, it should immediately lose line of sight, right? Donut, what's wrong? What have you made me do? Tick thing worked fine. Your suggestion doesn't work. Fix it now. Just kidding. Shouldn't you be checking it's larger than or equal to? Let's see. Where? Oh, you mean I should change my checks? Yeah, you're right. Good idea. But I guess right now what I'm checking is completely fucking different to what I was doing before. Yeah. Well, 0 is going to say... if only it showed donut suggestions. Hell yeah. Well, no, to check 0 that's correct. That is correct. If they're in line of sight, then this gets zeroed out. That's correct. This should be down 1. There we go. The bracket was in the wrong place. You lied to me about the bracket. How could you, Donut? I'm replacing you. Chat, does anyone want to replace Donut? It still doesn't seem to work. Who's actually checking the timer then? Okay, I need to think for another second. Bro, how did you set up the debugger? Does it just work if you compile in debug mode? Yes. Also, like, this project was set up a very long time ago. I remember nothing about it. Ask fucking Donut. Let me think for a second. Yeah, the timer doesn't matter in here. Did you make a suggestion without understanding the full context, Donut the Viking chap? Probably not. You're not doing what I thought you were. I knew it. You know what? You're getting this fucking soft chicken in your face. I knew it. I knew it. I'm gonna kill him. Throttling him. Gonna throttle him. Goodbye, Donut the Viking chap. He's gone. It's not my fault you have two numbers. What do you mean two numbers? There's like 1,000 numbers in this program. It's all numbers. Anyway, the point in here is this function is called the start of the tick, kinda. If they care about line of sight, they check to see if there's line of sight. Otherwise, well, we've clearly still got line of sight. If they miss line of sight, then they save the current time. And if it's been a second since then they recalculate things. And I guess at this point I should probably also set this to back to 0. Hang on a moment. Why is recalculate target timer separate? What do you mean, why is it separate? Was I already using a timer for this? No, this is correct. This is just to make sure he only did it on think. I think I copy and pasted this earlier. Yes, that's it. I think. Yeah, I copy and pasted this earlier when you made me change it to timer. That's the thinking timer for thinking. This way, I guess they'd only lose line of sight if he was thinking on the exact same tick. He lost line of sight, which is very unlikely. Thinking time. Is that just the amount of time to think until? No, this is correct. Why are you confusing me? What was wrong with what I had before? I'm sorry. It was tied to tick rate? That's it. It was so easy. It was such a simple, easy solution. Yeah, all this mess. New here. How are you, man? I'm alright, thank you. How are you? A little sleepy. I foolishly taken a suggestion from chat, and it's overcomplicated things and broken things. And now it's been an hour, and if I'd have just worked on this in my own time, I would have made an hour's progress. Just a thought I was having. How are you? Anyway, you're fine too. That's good to hear. Are you working on anything yourself, project-wise? Okay. Anyway, you just set it to 1 instead of total tick time plus 1. Subtract time from this value and check how many times it reached 0 while looping back to a given interval. Yeah? I'm kind of thinking maybe I should just Control Z literally all of this and just multiply it like tick rate, like I said half an hour ago. Sometimes you've got to make shortcuts in these things, otherwise it's going to be 6 years and you're only just now implementing a HUD. That's my current thought. Set it to 1 and see what it does. What, time to lose line of sight? Sure, why not? I don't know what passing in the thing itself does, but we can see. This doesn't do anything. Hang on, how do these timers normally work? Countdown loop. So normally you pass in a timer to hold on to the countdown and how long the timer should be. So I guess that should be 1 in this case. When you said it should be 1, you meant something else should be 1. So this should be 1 maybe. No, you did mean that. Why... You want to use the timer itself and remove the timer from itself? This doesn't work, right? Did we not just test this? I don't know what you're on, lad. Is there a way to control Z part of the code, like select a block and only revert the changes done there? I mean, I can just go into the git changes for the area and just revert it, you know? It was pretty easy before. I literally just counted +1 when it failed. That was it. It was very easy. It kind of just worked, and I was going to do other stuff today. So you know what? I might actually just like kind of undo all of this. Like, you're kind of annoying me a little bit. Countdown loop. Go for some number. Goes from some number down to 0 and up again. If you set it to the total elapsed time of the entire application +1, that's how long it's going to have to take for the next loop to happen. Okay. Hit reset hard. Let's not go that far. I think there's other changes I've forgotten to save. Apparently I didn't push last time. Oops. Yeah, you're kind of annoying me. Enemy system. Yeah, I think you're overcomplicating this. If you don't want to loop, then use countdown and make it stay at 0. Okay, we'll try that, and if this doesn't work, I'll just undo it, because I don't care. My time's more valuable than this. Let's see. 1. It's on 1. We hide behind... Oh, something crashed. Something's broken. It's gone into the wrong state. Why is that? I'm guessing that it didn't return properly. Is that what this is talking about? The following is treated as an error. Not all control paths return a value. Well, which control path is not returning a value? We have an if statement here. If that fails, then it's false. If it's within... Nothing in here is returning, unless break is somehow... There's... What's happening here? Just countdown... This is all synchronous code. Perhaps it's within here. I think this made sense before. Maybe this is incorrect though. Maybe resetting it here is incorrect. Let's try that. If this works fine, I'll keep it. But this was not a valuable use of my evening. Not whatsoever. So I think I might take more charge in future streams. Just taking a second to build. Let's see. You have a second to lose your interest, little guy. It's crashing. Alright, fuck it. This isn't worth it. Unless I can see obviously what the fix is, because now we've written this, I'm hesitant to remove it. I do agree that it's correct. It's more that now I'm kind of wasting my evening fixing a bug that didn't exist. Interesting that this is breaking things now. So... 9 minutes. All of these checks here are just likelihood to do things. They shouldn't be bricking stuff. I really wish it would tell me what control path is failing. A decent program should tell me. There was a bug already, just latent. Buddy, I tested this for a whole fucking weekend. I'd never had one crash. If the bug was there, but it was hidden behind a state that can't be reached, there wasn't a bug. I'm sure the game crashes if I plug in like a Japanese keyboard and start typing away. It's out of scope. Now explain to me which control path is missing a thing, because that might be the problem we're seeing. Unless you're just Clang D being a problem. Which, like if I do this, you're happy? Or is it, if it remains, then I can just assume that this is just a Clang D error? No, it remains. Alright. What's wrong? When are you ever returning true, actually? You should be returning at some point. You used to return true. That's the bug, I think. Yeah, I found it. Okay, return true. There was no bug already. Let's see. You can compile if you like. And then run. And let's see. One last try. Halo. Okay, this works. Great. Tick rate reliance. The lack of features, don't it? The game also doesn't work very well on 30 FPS. It looks kind of shit. And as I said, the tick reliance thing could be solved by just multiplying it by the tick rate. This number here could just be something... Tick rate halved. Who cares? That would have saved me half an hour. Oh well. Anyway, moving on. Look, I had fun things I'd planned to do today. We had this concept art for what if Cake is a cockroach in a trench coat? Now those are the questions I want to answer. We won't have time to do everything I want to do today, but we can at the very least try and do some simple stuff. So I'm going to try and implement this this health bar I drew. Cheapen chips as quickly as I can. So let's see what we need to extract. If I just think for a moment, I think the HUD background. Can I duplicate this maybe? Save as, just be HUD backdrop or something. So I'm going to remove the concept art part. That can go. And all this stuff. What is this? HUD gun sniper. This thing. Okay, fine. Sprite, we're going to trim you. Actually, no. I'd like to have a black border around this. You guys can see a sprite, right? Yeah. Just a moment. I want to add a... Where did my layer go? Here it is. Is it this one I just added? I guess it's this one. Whatever. I'm going to add a black border around here. Down like this. Oh. There we go. That's all. And now I can trim it. And this is the exact size of the HUD. And I'm going to accept that we're wasting a little bit of pixels. We're wasting a little tiny bit, a few bytes of storage doing this. But it trivializes the maths. Everything in this HUD is roughly done on a 16 by 16 grid. I mean, I kind of cracked it together, but you know, it's good enough for now. It's aligned roughly on a 16 by 16 grid, so it just makes the maths a little easier when it comes to drawing it. This thing, I think the backdrop should just be a static part of the HUD for now. That simplifies things. And we don't need this anymore. And your XP, I guess. We don't need this. And for the weapons, player gun, HUD gun. Okay, I can get rid of this. Oops. I guess I could keep this stuff in to line it up, but for now, let's just wipe it. HUD gun under. I am going to split you into 2 layers. Like this. This is going to be HUD gun 1. It's going to be HUD gun 2. If you can't see, I can make the screen a little bigger, by the way. I've actually got it full screen on my side. Just let me know. I'm going to remove all elements of gun 2 from the first side. Select color range. Just want to select this one. Okay. So HUD gun 1, I'm just going to color in select color range. That should have a shortcut. Okay, there's 1. And now for 2, I can just delete. Oh, whoops, wrong side. 2. I can delete that. Very good. Something like this. And then now we've got these two, and they're separate. Oh, whoops, you should be this color. Got 1 and 1, 2 and 2, blah blah blah. That's fine. And then when it comes to tinting them, do we have 2 different sprites for that? Or do we just tint it? Donut, your tinting code. Did you have different blend modes yet, or no? Because I remember there was a problem where you only did. Is it multiplicative? I don't remember. But basically, if I wanted to blend something with white, instead of being able to tint it white, it would just draw the colors purely, if that makes sense. I'm thinking if I... This palette's obviously not the final palette. I've realized that I'm missing a bunch of... yeah, otherwise you need a custom shader, okay. That's fine. I can look into that at some point. I wanted the enemies to flash white when you shot them. But that will be something simple. Like a tint shader. Just replace all pixels with a transparent with something. Okay, in which case I think I'll just have 2 different sprites for selected and unselected. I think that's the simplest, easiest solution. Why would you not copy and paste right next to the other one? Come on. Oh, this is frustrating. Alright. HUD gun 1 selected. HUD gun 1 unselected. HUD gun 2 selected. HUD gun 2 unselected. The joys of not actually having like memory restrictions and just being able to just duplicate something. That's you, and that's you. So now we can kind of like programmatically switch between them. That's nice. Okay. Minimap stuff. Where did I put that? This one. Minimap you can just get, I guess, deleted for now. And this is just how the HUD's gonna look. This is just what's always gonna be drawn until we want to overlay stuff on top. And it's possible I'll want, like, you know, the health to flash or animate or whatever, who cares? For now, this is fine. Because the heart thing does kind of look like it's flashing, right? Anyway, export. HUD backdrop.png. Yes. And then I will separately have the HUD one selected and like this. Interesting that you had a sprite up here. A pixel. Oops. Alright, these... Oh, you went above your border a little bit. That's not nice. It doesn't look quite as good, but we should pretend at least that we're sticking to our regions that we've given ourselves. Something like this. That looks okay. I love Alice's theme, dude. Alright, actually, this other one also goes over its border. What? I've really fucked this one up, haven't I? Also, now I need to go back and change the original sprite. So maybe I'll just separate these from the HUD anyway. I did this with the spray paint tool, if you're wondering. I love the spray paint tool. Looks fun. Alright, this stuff, I'm just going to grab this. Copy new. Please select the layer and duplicate it. Thank you. Simple enough. And then this one. Alright, so let's redo this. I guess you can be gun 1. Visible layers. Yeah, you can be HUD gun 1 select unselected. PNG. Looks good. It saves the name now, that's nice. Gun 2 and gun 2. Now we go back to the backdrop. Now we re-enable everything. We can get rid of these hit stupid layers that don't need anything. Delete layer. Delete layer. Do I need these numbers? I didn't pick them. Do you think it's handy, chat, to have the numbers on the gun, or do you think it's obvious if you have 1 and 2? I kind of liked it because it looked nice. The visual flair, but maybe it's a waste of space. You have any thoughts on that? I could just bake it into this sprays. Gun 1. Gun 2. Maybe I'll do it. I liked it enough. I'll just quickly redo this. What the fuck? Oh. Just paste the bloody thing. HUD gun, here you are. Copy, cut, whatever, paste. Oh, there you are. This looks kind of nice. I don't know. You guys have thoughts? I think it's okay. Actually had it placed in a different place than the other one. Oh lord. I wish copying worked. This thing. Oh, for fuck's sake. Cut. Paste. Why do you behave like this, Aspirate? View grid. You actually should be an 8x8 grid, I guess. I guess this grid's actually off the original one or what? No. This is apparently how we have it here, I guess. I feel like the grid should be defaulting to whatever I set each time. Move it down another one. Kind of looks like a button you can press, right? Kinda. I could even animate it, like, as you've selected it to press in. Ooh. What do you think? kind of like it. Do you think having an additive emissive color would be useful? You might add it. Yeah, I think it would be handy. Chris even has like a bloom on her game, and I think it looks really nice. Just having the ability to screw around with colors is nice. But I mean, I was just planning on doing stuff with shaders anyway, so this is all fine. So I'm just gonna re-export the stuff. Export as this isn't it. Gun 1 deselected. This can be gun 1 selected. You need to move down and to the right. So we're gonna have HUD gun selected. HUD gun 2 selected. Or PNG. That's unselected. Fuck. Deselected. I wish I would show you more your more recent stuff a little better. You're gonna have so many like wasted files here. I'm stupid. Hang on, I'm losing my mind here. Maybe it's late already. Or as HUD1 fucking elected. Oh god. Selected? Yes, overwrite it. And this is deselected. Hope that makes sense. I've just added a bunch of new fucking files. So let's see. Selected. We don't need that. Why would you go away? Gun 1 deselected, gun 1 selected. It's kind of hard to tell in this viewer because it's a bit shit, but you can kind of tell. That's one. This could be HUD gun. It can be HUD gun. Immediately changed my naming scheme. Don't tell anyone. HUD gun 2 deselected. HUD gun 2 selected. Looks good. Hunt concept hunt. Backdrop. Here we go. So from the backdrop, I still need to remove this stuff. That's why we started looking at this stuff. So save, export, export as HUD backdrop. Bang, easy. Okay, you should refresh yourself now. HUD backdrop. There we go. HUD backdrop.png. If we go to Asset Manager and we find our HUD backdrop.png, I should change the name to match everything else I've used, shouldn't I? HUD backdrop, HUD concept, whatever. HUD gun 1 deselected. HUD gun 2 gun 1 selected. HUD gun 2 deselected. Gun 2 selected. There you go. Just copy that relative path. Please take me back to the asset manager when I press the button. 2, 3, 4. That's not it. Alright, there's that thing, and then we do 1, 2, 3, 4. Why just saving here delete all that? Oh no, just put on one line. You guys seen the fake Chihuahua stream yet? Because I haven't. I heard people like Watame has Chihuahua. Gun, blah, blah. And this is correct for half of you. I guess you can get rid of the .png, huh? Alright. Now we've gotten somewhere. Right. HUD concept, you're being renamed to HUD background. Render HUD system. You only saw a clip of them with Fubuki. No? People like Watata or whatever. Who's texting me? Holy shit. Is Glyra sending an amazing mouse? Amazing mouse. And then it's the Apex guys talking. Hope Woolen is streaming and saying, what the boop, who is booping? Okay. Maybe we're playing Apex secretly. Anyway, what were you? Oh, you were what the cursor used to be. For all those many cursors on screen. I guess this could work in multiplayer. Might not need to draw this billboard anymore. I was previously drawing like a black bar on the right under the HUD, but that might not be necessary. Might not is a powerful word to mean is not. Alright, where am I drawing the HUD background? It's you, right? It's always you. HUD background. Nice to meet you, by the way. You're actually going to go here. In fact, I think this is true for you. Goodbye, HUD billboard. You were nice. Where did you go? Here you went. No, it's you. Yeah. So draw the background and then draw the guns. So where are the guns even? They're these squares, right? There should be plus X is plus 16 and Y is plus 112. That's not right, is it? Yeah. So, oh sorry, plus 8 plus 12. Plus 8 plus 12. Maybe. Maybe I don't need to pass in size if you already know your size. We'll find out. And then you're 16 down from there, right? We're here. 128. So if I'm right, which is unlikely, let's be real, but this might look nice. This should render the HUD. It's not rendered the HUD. The file name's changed. No. All right, what's wrong, little guy? Yeah. It's the file. What path? Textures. I wish you would draw normally. HUD backdrop.png. It's not called that, huh? I guess I forgot to change this name in Asset Manager header. Yeah. HUD backdrop. Just like that. Might have already... Maybe I didn't already do this. Are you running? Oh, you're still in your crash state. Wow, it's a HUD. Something's off about it. There's some extra pixels, or is it just rendering at the wrong width? If I go to full screen, it still looks... Why does it look like this? I probably don't need to specify a size, do I? That's the simplest fix. Although I think that is correct. Hello, map. Oops. Let's just double check this quickly. Did you have some pixels that I missed? I think so. Why did it look so weird, huh? It's not rendering anything now, and these pixels are still there. Oh, that's probably in something else. What are those pixels? That's weird. What are those? You see this, right? This like blue thing here. Like a slight white pixel. It's like it's see-through. I think it's being drawn at like a... like slightly off. Look at the wrong position. Maybe. Hang on, I can just very quickly check one thing, which is this. 64 by 144. That's correct. And the position? 192. Well, that's correct. So what's with the strange pixels then? Question mark. Oh, I just noticed these aren't drawing. I guess it's these bullet things. I think they need a size. Can I maybe just get those from the texture? You just have a size, perhaps? That would be convenient. Floating point size of the 2D image stored. That should be correct, right? You're in the wrong order, aren't you? Yeah. Alright, fine. I'm guessing that the weird pixels were just these being drawn at the wrong place and the wrong size. And yeah, they're gone. Okay. And it looks like the positioning for them is way bloody off. Is it upside down? What was this? 0. Yeah. Oh, do I need to multiply this by something? Hang on a moment. Not where I put my breakpoint, but good try. HUD billboard position is from 0. I remember there being something weird with how you handled X and Y for drawing. Like, do I have to... is it upside down or something? Oh man, the catching up with ticks thing is rough. Alright. Looks like 1 is below 2, so that would be my assumption, is that they're upside down. It would have to be the other way. That's weird. Did I name them incorrectly? Zero is the bottom left. Yeah. Okay. That's confusing. That makes sense. So at this point, it's actually here. So instead of adding that much, we need to go from the bottom, I guess. Or minus the height from this. Either way. I'll just count from the bottom. It doesn't really matter to me. So one of them will be at 135. No, wait. You draw the top left of the sprite, don't you? Did I want it in this space? Yeah. So it'll be... gun 2 will be at 120. Gun 1 will be at... wait, hang on, I'm stupid. This is not how this works. The Aseprite also counts the same way I was counting. So I just, you know, I'll just calculate it in here for now. The sprite origin can be changed. Yeah. I just need to position it properly. Hang on a moment. How am I normally doing this? I might have a system for this already. Maybe not. Okay, well... compilers are strong, right? Hang on a minute, why does the original HUD just... why does this just work? Is this drawing in the bottom left? Is the sprite being drawn from the bottom left for the default HUD? That feels weird. Shouldn't this be off screen? This like HUD on the right, shouldn't... we're also drawing this at the position. Or is X is from the left, I guess. Hang on a moment. By default 0, 0 is also bottom left. Oh, right. Okay. Is there a way in Aseprite to see from the bottom of the screen? Is that this? Well, anyway, I can just count with my eyes. This is 8. This is, what, 24? 8, 16, 20, 24. Bloody Game Maker. Everything's top left in that. Ruined me for life, that did. Hey, look, it's in the right spot. It's just off by one to the right. I guess I'll also put the player's current gun in their local player variable or something. I don't know. Yeah, look at that. Looks like a game, doesn't it? Or did I plan on these being down one more? Maybe I did. Feels like there should be a bit more height between them. What did the concept art look like? Oh, I had it right on the bottom. Okay. So how about instead of this we do 0 and 16? Does that look better? Ooh, very like Deus Ex music. Yeah, that looks better. Although I do admit that there should be a bit more of a border. You are missing. Yeah, fuck it. I'll just do it myself. This is what the spray can's for. Spray can tool, my beloved. No one out there loves spray can more than me. Alright. That looks appropriately shit. I love it. Awesome. Looks the exact same to me. Did I not export it? HUD backdrop.aspirate. Export as HUD backdrop.png. Okay. Oh, you got the no lowercase thing going on. Epic. That's gonna annoy me. Yeah, it looks a little better. Does it? Maybe it looks shit, actually. Maybe we implement, like, the switching and we see how we feel then. Can you be a competent coder and have dyslexia? A bunch of my colleagues have dyslexia. If you're one of them, I think you're very competent. Yeah, I don't see why not. Dyslexia definitely doesn't help, but the compiler will underline everything with red if it's incorrect. If you take your time and go back and fix your mistakes, it should be okay. Does your dyslexia also impact your normal typing on a computer? What form do you have? Or is it more like being able to read letters and stuff? Because you can change, if it's just like legibility, you can always change the fonts and stuff in your editor. If you get like words jumbled up. Or if you have difficulty reading normal TypeScript. There's those fonts that have like different weighting, right? That make it a little easier for dyspraxic and dyslexic people to read it. Comic Sans is unironically not a bad choice. Wasn't it originally made for visibility? Was that some people made that up? It just ended up being good for visibility, but Microsoft made it as a silly comic font. Anyway, just for like kicks and giggles, I'm just gonna. Who gives a hoot? Just don't look at this. Don't look at this. This is just a little temporary thing. Just a little silly thing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just a little silly thing. Nothing to worry about. We'll come up with something nicer. It's a little cheap and cheerful, but you know. You have a hard time reading. You've noticed things like VS Code with colors have helped. Yeah, there's a bunch of themes, right? Prepare your eyes. There's also custom ones. I wouldn't be surprised if there's ones explicitly to help you read. I know Solarize is meant to be good on the eyes. Oh god. Sorry anyone on their phone. Reading documentation, you're cooked. You've noticed things. What platform are you reading documentation on? Are you just reading it in terminal, like with Man, or are you reading it on a website? Because there is a plugin for Firefox called Dark Reader. Maybe you've already used it? This one? That's on Chrome as well. You can use this to like fuck around with the theme of It's saying please pay for it. I'm currently using it for free. Sorry, Dark Reader. You can use it to fuck around with websites, brightness, contrast, sepia, grayscale. It's kind of handy. I'm sure there's plugins that help other websites become more legible. You can use reading mode in your browser. In Firefox, the icon, I think I've hidden it, but there's a way to like display the website as text only, and like in a easy to read format. Yeah, I mean this will do for now. Who cares? I just want to go to input manager. No, action responder. I don't know the order these go in, but I'm just kind of fucking around. Yeah, I don't want this. If it's equal to 0, I don't want to be switching the weapons, so I understand I could maybe one-line this. Less larger than 0. I guess I could do one inline like this. Something like that. Is it a float? Something like this. Yes, it's inverted, but you get the idea, right? I mean, you don't know it's inverted because you can't feel my scroll wheel, but it's inverted. It's kind of fun. I think I might remove that extra backdrop I just made. It's a bit shit. You get the idea. Look, you can interact with it. Not that it makes a difference, but you can interact with it. Obviously, this is not how this is going to work long term, but you get the idea. Looks nice. You? I know I've just made you. Be gone. Be gone. I've also just deleted the thing above it. Don't worry about it. I just capitalized the fucking B. Ay, ay, ay. No, I didn't. He's chill. Alright, looks nice. Man, what stuff takes so long to write in this, doesn't it? Let's try and get the health set up. That shouldn't be too hard. For now, we can be super lazy and just draw a rectangle there. Plenty of games that will have like a fancy shader or like a sprite for the health. For now, I think we can get away with just having the... I should round off that 1 and 2. Just having the health as like a red rectangle. I think that's chill. So let's do that. So the health appears at 975 and end. Oh, hang on. My circle's too big. 874 to 4677. That's it. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I will do render HUD, I guess. Somewhere in here we're getting health, aren't we? I think we can even just do... Are we not doing it in here? No. Somewhere we're getting that while we're drawing. I kind of wanted to override that, but... Render actor system, yeah. Let's just do this. Okay, we need to check even if the local player exists. How big are you? $39 by 4. And we're drawing from the bottom left, is that right? So draw it 8 by... $67? Music's a little Pokemon Gen 5, isn't it? Like the desert area. Yeah, this looks good. Just pick a regular old red for now. Alright, it's clearly off by a little bit. I'd say it's up 1, so I need to move it down 1. So 66 I think is correct. And then I need to get the health, and I need to scale that width. So I guess it's current health divided by max health is your percent. Max health should never be 0, right? Hang on a moment. Health percentage can be auto health percent. 0. I don't know, maybe there's some reason your max health could be 0. I'm not willing to wait for this to be the reason I find out why that's wrong. You should be afloat. Oh, I made you a 0, that makes sense. So now I just need to turn that 39 to a percent. Is that simple as... Is it 39 divided by the percent? My maths is not so good right now, is it? It's 39 divided by 50. That's not quite right. I think you have to divide it by 100, don't you? Like I have to divide the... That seems stupid. There must be a better way to do this. So I can only have their percent of their health. So if their max health is 100, then their health is 50. So it's 50%. Oh, it's not even a percent right now. You need to multiply it by 100 to be a percent, wouldn't you? Oh, is it just 100 divided by 39, maybe? I'm using a calculator, by the way. That's not it. I'm really missing like some year 1 maths here, aren't I? Percent means per 100. So you need to interpolate between... Actually, that being said, should I interpolate it like by frame so your health looks like it's slowly moving up and down? An interesting thought. Google.com. Get percentage of a number. Divide by 100 and multiply by the total number. What the fuck? I feel so stupid for Googling this, but I feel more stupid not knowing it. Ratio is val divided by max, so that's this. This is our ratio. Without the 1 times 100. Percent is 100 times ratio. Yeah, so this is our percent. I want to know how to turn percent to actually be somewhere between 0 and 39. 39 is kind of an ugly number for this, but... What game is this? It's a shooter, like a bullet hell top-down game. Just do ratio times 39. Oh, really? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I'm calling that ratio, right? I'm not multiplying by 100. Get rid of this. I'll show you in a second if this compiles. Seems to be drawing at 100%. You ever feel like really stupid for not knowing some like basic bloody maths? Can't just be me, right? Your health appears to not be drawing. Now it is. Hang on a moment, why is that? Why were you not taking damage earlier? Oh, you were just immune, maybe. Hang on. Player respawn iframes. Let's set that to like half a second. Man, my hitbox is tiny. Why is this shit not hitting me? What? New bug? I mean, obviously it's going down now. Like this health bar looks nice, but I think the iframes calculation is off a little bit. And 0 is death. Okay, that looks nice. Why did this not work at the start? Why is that bullet going through me? What? They're not going that slowly. What? Is my hitbox just tiny? I mean, it's pretty small. Is it possible the bullets are just going through you? That seems very unlikely to me. Maybe they are? Maybe the enemy bullets are just tiny. I feel like I should have been hit a lot more there, especially because they were firing straight. Look at this. Why is this not colliding? Until he pushes me away. That's a new bug. Or is it just that my respawn iframes aren't being updated? Maybe. Easy mode unlocked, yeah. What I can imagine is that maybe this was off. Set your collision radius to like 0.2 or something. Let's make it a little bigger. 0.3. I don't know. Bullets are going right through me. My hitbox is huge now. What on earth could be going wrong? That's weird. I suspect that it's doing the collision one side but not the other side. So in here, you don't know what you've done with the collision code. So in here, I removed the check, which I think might be the problem, but I removed the check for the enemy bullet. The flip side in here, because I figured we would double detecting players and bullets against each other. But maybe we're not doing that? You get me? Because, yeah. Yeah, this might actually be, this might have been a stupid change. I was under the impression that the collision... If a player and a bullet collides, it actually goes through this loop twice. Because at first it's the player and bullet, and then it's the bullet and the player. So I've removed half of that out of the way. And I just said, if it's not enemy bullet, and it's not player bullet. Actually, this might be wrong as well, what I've done here. I might have inverted the logic wrong here. Because originally, I think it was this. And you were in here. It was originally like this, I think. But then obviously this if statement would just fail. And then the other side would get destroyed, which could be that the player gets destroyed when they touch the bullet. I guess I can do it like this. It's just, this felt weird to me. You get me? I might have just done that code wrong though. Let's see, this should fix it. Shoot me. Feels like I'm taking damage. Hit me. Hit me. Yeah, that's fixed out. Are the bullets always getting destroyed now? My bullets are now going through the enemy, and that's not what I wanted. This is incorrect. So I think what I had before wasn't too stupid. Something's wrong. So for every entity in the list, as long as we collide, the code should separately loop through the bullets to see what they hit, then just the enemies to see what's pushing them instead of combining them. Yeah, I'm thinking... Yeah, I just don't like multiplying loops. I guess functionally we're halving the size of both loops, which is not really much overhead. If you get what I mean. We're not running the same loop twice, we're running half the loop twice. It just felt weird. Okay. Yeah, because then if I split it up... Oh, I don't know if I could put the wall collision code in here too, because I also wanted the bullets to explode when they hit a wall. Suddenly having every bullet check for collision against walls does seem a little expensive though. Reduce the size of both loops by filtering the components instead of the group collision stuff. Oh, you don't like the collision group stuff? I liked the collision group stuff. Oh dear. The thing is, we're already looping through these. We've got this quad tree thing. Filtering in out stuff that would have collided normally. Okay. Maybe this logic isn't the best use for it. I thought it was a pretty smart idea. So I'm splitting this... Sorry, you want me to have a separate loop over the all collidables list? You can do the quad tree test over both of these. You just want to have two of this big quad tree list, one for... Or two of these. Oh, I'm tired. Because I don't know how this works with the quad tree thing. We're just looking for things with a collision and a transform. Instead of all collidables, it's entities with relevant components. How does that work with the quad tree, though? You don't want to rebuild the quad tree. Or would you have all collidables like this, and then have a separate view on all enemy with collision and transform, and all collidables that are whatever bullets are? Bullets don't really have a component. That feels a bit object-oriented to give them a fucking bullet component. I'm so tired. Oh dear. Like, this seems really stupid to me, I'm gonna be honest. Having more of the same data duplicated, doing multiple registry views, that seems so much worse. I don't disagree with splitting up the code, but I wonder if that's a good way to do it. You do separate systems for different collisions and using is projectile component. I was kind of trying to avoid having that kind of component though. It feels a bit off. I guess that's kind of what the collision group is doing right now. Oh dear. I don't... You felt offended, you said it's oopish. To me it feels oopish, because right now collision has like a tag saying what group it collides with. Like it has masks and groups. To have a component called isBullet that's only used for collision, so it's only used in conjunction with collision and is useless on its own, feels incorrect. Multiple ad hoc registry views is the intended usage pattern. You get why I think it seems very weird to have a collection filled with everything and then 2 smaller collections filled with some of the stuff that's already in that top collection. That feels really fucking weird. How expensive is it to have a registry view? I get that the view is a read-only. It just views. They don't have a size. Do they have a range or something? How does the registry view work? It's a couple of pointers. How does that work? Presumably these things aren't packed in the registry right next to each other. Surely it has to create a structure somewhere. Right. I'm so fucking tired. If it's just a couple pointers, then my point's moot. I was treating this as like a huge list of ints or something. Let's have a look. Entity Factory. Thorn Bullet. There's currently nothing that makes a bullet, and I kind of liked that. They're just something that happens to have all of these. It just feels weird to have a component that's just a tag. I mean, I kind of had to have it for player because there's one of him and we need to grab him all the time, but even then I'd kind of rather if we didn't have to do that. I'd rather a player didn't even exist. This idea wasn't a thing. It's just an entity that happens to move with the action responder, but we have got the camera that follows it and stuff, and I don't know. I don't remember what entity implementation is, but you have a pointer for every component. List of candidate entity IDs. Yeah, but those entity IDs are held somewhere, right? It's not reconstructing like a list or something. I mean, we can give this his projectile thing. Tag is free, why not use that? You could use it for more efficient views. Tag is free. Tag is free? By tag, do you mean having the is projectile component? Because I'm not against taking advice. If you think that's going to be the easiest way moving forwards, I can just go with it. I'm not arguing for argument's sake. I'm just questioning it. Empty struct is tag is free. Yeah. My point was more, I thought part of the idea of ECS was that you don't have explicit labels for things like this is the player, this is an enemy, this is a bullet. It's actually just an entity that happens to have all of those behaviors, but there's no such thing as a bullet. You can spawn an entity with a trajectory and a bullet sprite and stuff, but there's nothing about it that makes it a bullet. And then suddenly giving it a bullet component makes it feel like it's a class called bullet, and these other things are decorated. If you get what I mean. It feels counterintuitive. But it is essentially just a tag, and it is, in this case it's to make collision faster, so it's probably just a good thing. You see my concern, right? You know what I mean. There's currently no way to distinguish a thing that deals damage from another thing, then adding a tag is the way to do it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But there is a way, which is the collision tag. Okay. You felt that at some point we tried to give the bullet an input component, yeah. Just punched my mic. As you iterate, it looks at each candidate ID and makes sure it has the required components, if not skips it. There's so many fucking iterations. Good thing these things run at billions of times a second. I'd be so bored if I was a computer. Ooh. Alright, fine. Fuck it all. We have an enemy struct. Let's have a fucking enemy bullet and a player bullet, because I want them to react differently. I kind of hate it. Enemy player. We're just having stuff basically line up with that mask. That's a shame, I really like the mask idea. Bye-bye. Collision's probably used in loads of places, right? Yeah. Alright, spawn bullet. Bullet? Yeah, because like the fucking add bullet stuff right now, it wasn't... There wasn't a way to distinguish between a player and an enemy bullet, really. There's that mask, actually. Entity Factory. Yeah... I guess we were already passing in a collision. Just don't like it. I guess we were spawning this in 2 different places. What are you writing? I'm sure there is though, because there's always just all the damage it deals somewhere. The damage it deals somewhere, that shit's under the weapon value, I think. I don't know if the bullet itself has that. Actually, I think damage is just 1. Is that true? Yeah, I think the damage is just 1. We didn't add damage. I think. Damage. No. It just comes up with copyright. Did you know you're listed as the number 12 contributor on Entity because you contributed a 1-line bug fix? That's crazy. There's like one guy creating it. Do you do collision detection and collision resolution stuff? I can't have vocals in my music. I can't think with someone talking. Put on low quality breakcore music stolen from some other YouTube channel. Do you do collision detection and collision resolution stuff, like creating events in one system and consuming them in another? We have a couple of systems that do collision adjacent things. The map collision with physics object is done in a, I think it's in the physics system. But it's created and then resolved within one system. So this is physics system. For everything with the physics, we calculate collisions against the map. That's the thing where we collide with the walls. And then this weapon system or whatever. Or collision system. This is doing all the other stuff, so this is, I think, mostly bullets on player and players on bullets. But it's also enemies and players just nudging each other around. Which I liked the group thing for, because it meant that players could nudge enemies around, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess it's fine if players nudge other players. Your code might be in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Amazing work. Is Minecraft using the entity library? There's only 12 contributors. That needs to be split. It's the true ECS way. I don't know about that. Single responsibility systems. Collision and resolution. What if the responsibility is dealing with collisions? How finite do you want to get? How atomic do you want to get? What would your solution be? We have one system here that's filling up this view, and another system that's dealing with it. That seems maybe a little unnecessary. I get what you're getting at. Single responsibility is usually the best way to go for programming in general, but projectile player collision to system. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary right now. I do get what you're coming from, but it seems not huge right now. Let's see how refactoring this looks for now. I do get what you're looking at. There's not enough systems. Yeah, there's only 2 things we're really colliding with right now. It's weapons and players. I don't know if I want to start refactoring all of that right now. And the collision detection is basically just an intersection of some hitboxes. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to make changes for the sake of changes. This is a solo project. That makes sense. Just making a change because it's like the accepted way doesn't necessarily make the game better. If that makes sense. Anyway, entity factory. Add fuck it. Spawn bullet. I'm just gonna type in this shit in place. Collision. Oh, currently player bullet and enemy bullet don't have a shared parent. So do I have to do magic to get this to work in this bloody language? I can't just, like, these bullets, they're both extending from bullet. Of which I could have a, like, I could delete the constructor on or whatever. But in this case, I'd have to have, like, I don't remember the syntax for this, but something like whatever it is. You get me, right? I don't remember the syntax for template stuff. Do I need to like pass it in here and then in here and then place it in here, T, and then bullet? What's the syntax for a fucking template in this language? Template type and I'll just change bullet to auto. You can use auto? Really? You always do that? You can have auto in the... Since 2020. Since C++20. Holy shit. I had no idea. I guess we can't use that at work. I think we're still on C++17. Auto creates the template for you. Oh, that's sick. But does that work with entity here? Auto is not allowed in template argument. Logically, it's the same as groups and masks, but with more manual, with more control and less ifs. I get your suggestion, and I understand the value. I'm just wondering if it's worth me spending my limited developer time refactoring a file into multiple files for potential future-proofing. There is always an element of Yagni, or like, you know, over pre-optimizing. I think it's usually best as a time management thing to just deal with problems as they come along. Otherwise, you're going to spend 6 years planning your project, and then how fun of a hobby you've just had. You've just done a job as your hobby. I don't enjoy that. Why are there different bullet types in the first place? Because we need to do collision detection, Donut. How would you differentiate between a player's bullet? Are your bullets of different kind? Sorry, was your suggestion not to have a tag for the kinds of bullets that we're shooting around? You're saying that we should have an enum. Are we not just bringing back... You're just moving the mask to a different component. Oh my word. It needs a tag that is a bullet. Sure. Why not? Just is bullet, is player. And to stop the player from being hit by their own bullet? You already had a bullet type? No, I've just made this. How are you going to differentiate the player from the bullet they've just shot? Because previously we had masks. Don't detect that in collision detection. Yes, but inherently, how is a player bullet different from an enemy bullet? They both spawn in the exact same way. And if you're suggesting having an enum in a component, is it not better to have two different components than an enum in a component? Let's have an owner player entity. Do we want every bullet to have to point back at an integer? Not the end of the world. Int team. I don't particularly want the bullets to point to be shooting the other enemies either. That doesn't sound very multiplayer handling either. If we ever wanted to have two players on screen, that kind of breaks. You can't just check on the bullet if it's not the player entity, unless you restrict it. If you only had two players, I guess you just check if it's not player 1 or player 2. Int team. Sorry, so you're saying I need to keep using the mask and I just need to move it to a different component. Homing missile would have a target entity too. That's true. Well, is that true? Yeah. I don't remember how we did it in the last game. Player team, enemy team. What if I want the enemies to be able to shoot each other sometimes? Like if they shoot a rocket launcher. That could just be a hit everything flag, I guess. So it's just the mask. You're just saying give the bullets a tag that says it's a bullet. So we can have a different loop and then have a tag. Team could be its own component. So it's just the mask. You're just moving it from here to something else. Am I losing it? This whole thing, all of this crap. You're just saying move this somewhere else. Mask is inflexible. Is it? Construct team? That's what this fucking component is. And you only ever use team when you're having a collision. I feel like I'm talking in Crazy Town, dude. We only ever use this struct in combination with a collision. But you're like, oh, it extracts it so we can loop over it twice. In the loop that was already mostly working. The code was already working just fine. Guarantee it will be used for more in the future. I mean, I guess we could iterate over... No, but we could just iterate over every collision mask. So I don't know. We can already... interrogate what team something is on via that. Aye, aye, aye. Oh. Oh dear. You know, I had a lot less of these moments when I was just programming by myself. Ask AI, bro, easier. Oh, I fucking hate AI, dude. It'll be so much worse. I'm on so many lists. The whole idea of collision layers is to filter that collisions, so you can make enemies walk through the player clip blockers, but not the player. So now you're saying we have to duplicate which team they're on and which... Oh, Lord. I don't want to ask AI anything. I'm asking the people making their suggestions. Code duplication. You're suggesting a collision has a mask But also there's a separate team component, which is functionally the mask, which I have to add everywhere that uses the collision, instead of just putting it in collision. Only joking. Oh, no worries. How are you? That's not duplication, it's separate concepts. Oh. So should I leave the fucking group thing in? Like, should I leave this where it was and just have a new component? Nice and sunny, new component. How friendly. Oh, I needed to do using layers. Conflating the two concepts was the issue with using the collision groups for logic. Okay, look. Let's just do this. I'm kind of tired. Do I want an enum in here? Who cares? Struct team, enum. Allegiance. I don't know. Team. Team. Goody, baddie. Goody, baddie. Who knows? There we go. It's so easy to write C++ code. What's wrong, little guy? It has the same name as its class. I fucking know. Team. Team name. Enum name. Player. Enemy. Hit everything. I don't know, what would you call that? Chaos? I don't fucking know. Oh lord. Alright. That's not what I wanted you to do. You want to be in UIN8T, don't you? Come on. Alright, Link. C++, you thought this was C#, you're like, what is he doing? I haven't done C# in a very, very long time. It's more like Java, right? Did it have void, or am I thinking of something else? Visual Basic we did at some point in school a long, long time ago. What are you making though? CS2-like game? Not quite. I don't think it's going to compile anymore because I've just been fucking around with it. Yeah, thought so. I'll show you in a moment. You can also, you're on YouTube. You might just be able to skip earlier in the stream and have a look. Team name. Team name. We'll just imply. We'll add a new fucking function for this called add team entity team dot name equals team name. Oh, I guess team needs to have needs to have a member. That makes sense. Alright. You're gonna be a team like this, like this. Team. I guess for now you could just pass in the name. Team's not going to do anything else. And then in here you're going to place a team constructed as such. Team name. Bam. Dot name. Yeah, we just need to add that on there somewhere. Team. Hello team. You're going to have a team name. Default to chaos. Why not? What's wrong, little guy? Field is incomplete. Word team is not complete. What's wrong, little guy? I'm stupid. Your name. Name. Hello. You're doing this alone. There's people in chat. Here's a donut guy that's an expert in anything. That's right. He has so many helpful suggestions. How are you? game looks good. Oh yeah. Oh, did you skip in the VOD maybe? Okay. I was gonna say how you could base that on the text. That's impressive. Hey, what's wrong, little guy? Team name. Oh, your team name. You need to be here at team. Come on, you don't exist. Wow. All right. Add team. Team name. Team name. Bam. Very good. Add team. You're looking good. Up here. Add team. Team name. Are you sick of me saying the same 3 words yet? Because I'm sick of saying them as well. Okay. You're a bullet, and you're on a team. Welcome on board, lad. I also need to pass you in. Spawn bullet, and now you want to be here. Wow. And now anywhere I'm doing that, I need to pass in you. Okay. Bullets to fire dot collision. Alright, you have to add that in. Bullets to fire dot team name. Bullets to fire is what exactly? What are you? Weapon is you bullets to fire. Vector, hang on, I do have a struct called bullet. Alright, we're having 2 structs with the same names. Don't think about it. Bullet info, we're going to call you. Loads of places using... actually, capitals. Not that many places, actually. Hang on. Is bullet... Yeah. I think as a tag, having the word is actually quite smart. I like that. I should probably rename player to is player. I think that's a really good idea. I like it. Tag like a bull, yeah. I like that a lot. You've gone so far, you're scared to complain about calling it name. What would you call it, my dear friend? I'm sure you have an excellent suggestion. How do you not find it hard using auto keywords so much? Like not being able to remember what type things are. If you hover over it, it'll tell you what type it is. They're useful when you read them. You can do enum class. Oh, yeah? How does that work? When you instantiate the enum class, you assign it a value that is one of its enumerations. So you can construct its team as being player. Is that true? Can you put enums in the registry? I thought components had to be structs. There's no restriction components had to be structs. This is fucking news to me, buddy. I'm sure I've written one. I've never written one. Alright. That's fine. What's wrong, little guy? You want to be a UNA too? Of course you can. Alright, name. No, you don't need to match, that's okay. Team name. Sorry, little guy. I'm changing you forever. You're going to be team. That's alright, isn't it? Yeah, sorry. Team. Just team. Welcome aboard. Team. Very cool. That's epic. And now instead of that, you just pass in the team, huh? That's crazy. I thought you had to use structs. I did not know enum class was okay. Alright, what's wrong, little guy? Oh, looks like my code broke because I changed it. I'm going to bring this back. I like the collision group for drawing here for now. Refactor it in a minute. But you can come back. I don't want to break too much stuff at once. Don't run. You can just build. That's okay. I want to see where it breaks. I feel like there's somewhere I'm forgetting. Like everywhere that's using that bullets to fire variable should be breaking. Name illegal. Oh yeah. I think it's the bullets to fire section I need to think about. Oh, team dash dash name. You still exist in some places. Just here, actually. That's okay. Team. Alright, now whenever we spawn bullets, this is happening in here. Bullets to fire doesn't have this. That's because when we spawn bullets, weapon is a weapon, and weapon has a bullet, and bullet needs to have a team. And add bullet. Where are you being used, young man? Add bullet. Wow, this is crazy style. How about you are on team player? Looks chill to me. You can even be .team if you'd like. How about that? Oh, are you outside of your friend group? Put you back in. What's wrong, little guy? Collision? No, I was correct. I don't know why it complained at me. This was fine. Alright. And what about in here? Team. You are incorrect. Team enemy. Okay. How's things looking now, little guy? Entity factory. What's wrong? Action responder. Eh? Somehow I don't think this is the problem. Unless blah decides to add that restriction manually with a type traits check. The language makes a distinction hardly between unified type categories in the first place. Everything is an implicit destructor. Everything behaves like an input when you copy it. Like C# and semantic differences are huge. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Tell me, mirror on the wall, what's failing in my build? Because I don't think it's you. I think it's somewhere else. I think I've just forgotten something. What have I forgotten? What could be going wrong? Did I delete the action responder? That sounds like possible. How on earth would that have happened? Want to be pro, like, but in cybersecurity. Degree would be a good start. I think you probably need one to do cybersecurity. Yeah, I just deleted it. I'm really stupid. You need to be better than me. Why is it broken? I don't get it. I just removed the structure. It just went away. Yeah, if you want to get cybersecurity, seems really fucking cool. It's very, very hard, but if you've got a good mathsy brain, it's fascinating. I did like one or two modules on it back at uni. You do like pen testing and you learn how to use those little tails, keys, fobs and stuff. They're pretty cool. Alright, what's wrong? Overloaded member function not found in Entity Factory. Oh. Why? Wait, hang on. Are there multiple add bullet functions? Or did I spawn billet? Spawn billet is different to add billet, isn't it? Wait, hang on, what are you? You are spawn billet. Team. Am I losing it? Spawn billet. I swear I just read you without team. Overloaded member not found. You're a team. Spawn billet. Team. What? Start position, lifespan, start velocity, collision team. Is it because collision's auto? Maybe? I don't know why that was auto, but why not? Message redacted. Oh dear. Alright, what's wrong? Definition of all collidable. Okay, great. We're back at our original bug, which is good. Our original self-inflicted wound. Alright, here we go. Look, we can run the game quickly. Nothing should be any different. We've just spent time together in this hellhole. Wow, look at that. The mouse is shooting me. Isn't that incredible? But sometimes the bullets are going through me. Alright. That health bar looks cool. Let me out of here. Okay. Should I have a view that's like all bullets and all not bullets? I imagine at some point I'll have something that blows up no matter what shoots it. To check for like all collidables that are enemy seems maybe silly, but maybe... Yeah, let's just do this for now. Collision, transform, and bullet. All bullets. What's wrong? Oh, is bullets, sorry. The only reason it's a name variable is because you were reusing it. Make videos how to be pro in CS from noob to pro. Let's share journey with us. What? By CS do you mean Counter-Strike or cybersecurity? Because I read that as Counter-Strike. Because earlier someone was saying, are you making Counter-Strike 2? And I was thinking, probably not making Counter-Strike 2. Maybe. For the one-shot loops, you might as well construct the view right for the loop, like you do for the health loop. Yeah, I just haven't looked yet, but we're going to split things up. Hang on a moment. Cybersecurity, yeah. You don't have to delete your comments. I'm very quick. I can read them. Bam. Just read it. Bam. Just like that. All right. So for all collidables, excluding bullet, or what, or nah. You get me? Like which side am I splitting up? I've got my all collidables. I guess all collidables remains the same. Oh Lord. What is entity list? Entity list is testing the quad tree I'm getting such a headache. You do first bullets only, testing the quad tree, checking if the target is health, and enemies only, testing the quad tree and checking if the target is also an enemy. Yeah, so you think you're going to duplicate this. Yeah. I suppose the transform for anything in all bullets would be in the quad tree, because this is a inclusive set, whatever the word is. Let's just copy this quickly. This top one's going to be bullets, this bottom one's going to be health. So what do you mean health? This is the pushing code, so let's just get rid of this chunk, you and you. And this is going to be all bullets, this is going to be all not bullets, which seems really stupid. Bullets want targets with health, right? Not necessarily. If I want to collide them with walls, do I have to do that in a separate place? Or should I not? Do I not want to do that in the quad tree? I'll do that somewhere else, maybe. I guess I don't need to bother with... No, I do need to bother with that. Yeah, this code doesn't do wall collision. That's true. So all not bullets... Gonna do this because that's what this is. That's what this check is. It's for anything that's not a bullet colliding. They just push. Bullets, they smash stuff. Not bullets, they push stuff. This is object to object, yeah. Oh dear. Why am I doing the health invulnerable tick down in this bloody system? That makes no sense. You made a system per collision type. Player, player grid, bullet grid. Not having a bullet system is essentially your mask. That's cool. I like that. Like inherently it's the same data, but the way that you're presenting it's a little different. But I like that. But now, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's nearly midnight and I've worked in like 6 hours, so I'm not sitting here creating like a bunch of new files and fucking around with CMake and copying and refactoring. VS Code sucks for refactoring. So I'm not doing that right now, but if it gets complicated in the future, I think it's not a bad idea to have different systems for this stuff. My time is limited and I want to sleep. But I also want to do this, so otherwise I feel like I've not really spent my evening very well. I could have done other stuff today. Let's see. I'm just going to keep this basic for now, and we can refine this next time. And have one loop for not bullets. I'm going to have one loop for bullets. Just like that. We're going to get rid of this collision mask stuff, probably. For any entity with a collisioner transform in all not bullets. This is functionally a slightly different system, isn't it? I guess you'd put the quad tree stuff. This would be your collision detection, and the other stuff would be your resolution, right? This quad tree stuff could totally be in its own system and shared. I think that's sensible. You've made a sensible suggestion. I just can't be fucked. So for everything that's not a bullet, we test it in the quad tree. And then we want to move the health thing way up, right? How does the quad tree test work again? It tells you any potential collisions based on that position, right? so we can indeed move this way up to the fucking top. So at this point, we've tested the quad tree. And the quad tree currently doesn't... I guess we could technically have a different quad tree for stuff with health. Currently, this is mostly going to be healthy stuff. I have a feeling that collision's mostly on stuff with health, I should say. And bullets. Hang on a moment. Yeah, let's just do this. That's wrong. Thanks for doubling my fucking bracket. Okay, okay. Don't need you. I'll pull this in. Little semicolon in there. Let's see. For everything in the not bullets... No, actually, I want you to be in the all bullets list, please. So for every bullet that's potentially colliding, check to see if he's got any collisions and with whom. Fine. Here's your hitbox. Very cool. For every entity that it could be colliding with, if it's yourself, get out of there. If they have health, and instead of entity, I think it needs to be on your entity. Because you're colliding with a thing. And then we get your collision and your transform. I guess we just assume that those exist. Could be bad. But no, it's stuff in the quad tree, so these have to exist. The mask thing. Do I care about this right now? Maybe this is where you'd pull in the team thing. Right? Oh, hello, sorry. I haven't been reading. What's up? You started your Python journey 3 weeks ago. Hello, sorry, I'm phasing out a bit. I can see your message. Hello, Karima. How's your Python thing going? You still there? Sorry, I was focused. Yeah, sorry, my brain's phasing out. If you're still there, I'll answer your question. If not, I'll keep myself sleepy, I guess. I guess he left. Okay. Yeah, I think we can replace this stuff with a check further up for team. Yeah. Let's see. Do we only care about things with teams? Let's just do this. I'm gonna say that we do have a team. I think all bullets should have a team. Your team. What's wrong? Unused? Unused? Can I make you const in this? Yeah, okay, you should be const. No, wait, you're being modified. Right? You don't... Oh, I guess it's a pointer. Okay, fine. You can't move the pointer. Sure, we are incrementing it. If auto your team is this, your team exists and your team isn't equal to team. I could be calling my team. We are calling everything else my. There we go. If you have health and we're on different teams, is your player collider a circle or a rectangle? It's a circle. Dereference your my team, otherwise you're comparing the pointer addresses. Oh yeah. Like that? What's wrong with... Oh, I guess that could mean... hang on, how does that work? If I have two enemy entities with both with a team of enemy, I guess they don't share a pointer to one enemy value somewhere. They'd both have their own copy, I suppose. Is that true? Oh dear. Fine. Oh, this is address of. That's not right, is it? Have I done that correct? Is this the right syntax for this? I thought this is the address of syntax. Address of pointer. Yeah, no, you want dereference. That, or is it on the other side? This means dereference, right? Pointer dereference, and then access the element at that pointer. Right? Rather than address of the pointer, which would be not very useful. Team is value, is it not? No, it's a pointer. That's correct aside from... Blah, 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 blah. It's enum, so basically an in. Yeah, but what gets returned from this try get value is it's a pointer. Is that not true? It's correct aside from arrow. Oh, my team should use get instead of try get. Yeah? Yeah, because I guess the bullet just has one, right? So team, like just regular get gives you a reference, but try get gives you a pointer because it might not be in there, and then it gives you a null pointer, I guess, if it's not in there. That's all. So let's see. We're in every entity. If we're the same, get out of there. If you don't have a health or you're invulnerable, get out of there. If you are on the same team as me, get out of there. Alright, what's your collision and transform looking like, little guy? I'm keeping the mask thing in for now, but I think I should actually remove that, so I'm removing the mask thing for now. Don't trust what I say. Your hitbox is not being used anywhere, so prepare to be fucking inlined, little guy. That looks worse, but don't tell anyone. How about I put a little comma in here? Maybe you'd like that. Yeah, here we go. So if we're just intersecting, that's kind of sick. Interesting that I wrote destroying entity in there. Oh, I'm destroying. It's because I'm destroying the bullet. This is how I was printing off that I was printing the right bullet. That makes sense. All right, this is chill. So now we're gonna look through everyone that's not a bullet. Easy game. If we're the same, whatever. The collision groups I actually don't care about. Players and enemies are going to push each other all the same. I also want to make sure I'm not pushing the bullets. Okay, I think right now the way this code works, I think you can push bullets by walking into them when you're invulnerable. Because this loop right now, when it does the check in the quad tree, it's checking potentially against bullets. Even if I myself am in the not bullets list. The quad tree will have bullets. I kind of want to see how that looks before I fix it. I'll just do a check and remove bullets from the equation, but I want to see how that looks. If you use try get and dereference without checking, you get a null pointer, dereference, and crash in the best case. Okay. Use try get and dereference without checking. Oh, if you dereference without checking, if it's not a null pointer. Oh, because I was already checking somewhere in here. I'm already doing this check here to make sure it's valid, right? This. Okay. Let's see. My team wasn't being checked. Gotcha. That's a good catch. Here's your collision information. How's it feel? I don't actually know how I feel about this extra comma here. I think this might make it worse. Okay, anyway. If we are angry and we both have physics, then let's move around. Why not? And then entities to destroy. Just that at the end doesn't. It's fine. It's chill. Ah, you know what? Actually, you can go up. You can be with your family because eventually, indeed, I think you have a good idea. We should refactor this into its own system, just not at midnight on a fucking Tuesday. All right. So right now, you should be able to push bullets. I think. So I should be able to push the enemies around with my bullets. I think. The bullets might not have a weight, in which case this might not matter. I think bullets don't have physics, so ignore my point. Bullets don't have physics, so it actually just works just fine. I will say, however, I don't seem to be able to shoot the enemy, so one of my checks is wrong. I suspect it's the way we're doing teams. But let's see. I mean, you can still push each other, so the quad tree is still working just fine. That's nice. Let's see. That's a shame. I was hoping to be able to push them around. But I guess we're only checking for stuff with physics. In which case, maybe if I add a rocket launcher with rockets that have physics, being able to push the rockets kind of... Maybe that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll leave this as is. I was gonna do like, if you have is bullet, then ignore. But well, then again, I guess we are doing a bunch of new checks here. We might not need to do. No, we're not. We're just constructing a hitbox. That's all. Okay, how about this? Fine. If registry.gap is bullet on your entity, Trigo. Const auto bullet component equals, and then just break. This isn't it? Oh, I'm stupid. Here we go. That's not right. Is it because you're const? That shouldn't matter here. Why is he doing this? His player and his bullet tag saved you from that try-get madness. You know what compile time infinity has a component. The missile knows where it is meme. You reminded me of something. Wasn't there a story... Did one of you tell me this? Or did I read it? I might have read it. There was a missile guidance system that was written in Android, I think. and I don't remember the maths involved, but basically they had one of their coordinates flipped upside down for the GPS. So the moment the missile like went over the equator, it just stopped. So instead of continuously flying down, it either just stopped or it like turned around and went back up again. And it's because like they just every time they'd been doing the integration tests, they'd exclusively done it in the Northern Hemisphere, and they've just missed out on some bug where they like forgot to minus something, or they put some really basic number in the wrong place, which worked perfectly fine in the north. But at the moment, was it actually? I think the missile was upside down, like it was rotated like in space like this. I don't know how you describe that, pitch or yaw or whatever. It was rotated like this, so when it tried to hit something, it went the wrong. I don't fucking remember. There's something silly like that. I wish I remembered the story. Quadtree is the only real reason you need to use try get like statements here anyway, checks here anyway. In this case, I am trying to. I don't need to do get. I can just say like registry dot as view try get. Does registry.get give you a... I just want to see if this exists. Yeah, I think it was running Android. That was Java. It might have been Java. I just want to see if it exists. Like, if your entity has... the tag is bullet. Is it view? And then I just do, like, dot is empty or something. Sorry, am I losing something? What's wrong, little guy? I'm gonna build. Maybe he's just angry. It's funny, you were referring to the list while the missile knows where it is meme. Guy explains missile silent system in silly words. Missile bug over wait or Java? No, this isn't it. Oh, no, it was a plane that flipped upside down. It was an F-16. Hang on, is this it? Oh, is it contains? Thanks. Is it contains? Fuck, it says it's an urban legend. Shit. That's upsetting. Well, whatever, never mind. Nothing ever happens. Apparently it was a fucking computer simulated bug. It didn't actually happen in real life. But the urban legend is an F-16. Oh, this is it. Yeah, no, this is it. It's not that the plane stopped when it went to the equator. It flipped 180 degrees. So like there was a pilot in a cockpit flying normally in the northern hemisphere, and then as he goes over the equator, it like goes like due to like some physics bug. Apparently it's not actually how this shit works. There's no such thing as an up or a down in software. I don't remember what it is. Although there is this other thing that says, due to a software glitch, 2007 6 F-22 airlines, their systems crashed mid-flight because they threw over the date line, which is definitely true. They probably went over the fucking date line and the shit stopped working. Australians are living upside down, yeah. Yeah, I heard they're working in Android thing. I don't know. Could be has. Am I fucking losing my mind? Registry dot. I thought there was just like a contains or has or check. Oh, there's one for context. That's probably what I'm thinking of. All of. And then I just do like is empty or something. What do you provide? A ball. Check if an entity is part of all the given storage. Yeah? That's it. I don't think that's it. I think you have to pass in a piece of storage, don't you? Or not? Like, this is correct, and it's just giving me a compiler error. You don't have to pass in like a view or something. No, okay. This is called a... What was it calling this? This is called a storage. Not a component. Or what? Am I being dense? Quick little cheeky inline. Alright, sorry, why are we not being able to shoot anything? Am I stupid? So if you have health, and you have team, and your team is not my team, let's just put a breakpoint in here somewhere. Okay, well this is never getting triggered. Good start. How about this one? Okay. Hang on a moment. Okay, here we've got bullets. Unable to read memory. Come on, I'm sure you can. Your entity. Oh, for fuck's sake. Put a watch on this. What is my team? Player. That's correct. Your team is undefined. Huh? We're different entities. Sorry, is this incorrect? It's just null pointer. Sorry, I'm a little confused. By the way, like pausing fixes the weird lag, so maybe I could just make the game pause when the window loses what's the word? Focus. It might be annoying during development, but you know. What? Your team? Have I like made this annoying by doing it all on one line? My team is just a team. The enemies might not have a team. You're really smart. You're a fucking smart guy. This is what you get for jumping around everywhere. Me. Oh, good to know that you can't shoot stuff that's not on a team, huh? Put the spectator and not a team. Suddenly they can't get shot by anything. Hey, a crash. Set does not contain entity. Ooh, la la. You don't have a collision? Oh. Hmm? That'd be in the entity list. I'm going to read all the way through it. No, what's colliding right now? The game's like not showing me the win. Oh, I can look at my stream. Colliding against a destroyed bullet. Yes, there was a reason I wanted this at the bottom. Oh. Arr, me hearties. Yar. I mean, I should probably put this... No, this is correct now. Okay, let's try now. God, you're fucking smart. I am immediately deleting the fucking rat. He doesn't seem to be taking damage so much as just being annihilated out of existence. Why is that? Do I get deleted if you touch me? Try it. Because I'm guessing this is crashing because the player just suddenly got deleted. Yeah. Okay. Correct. So something we're doing in here is wrong. Ah. This is it. Is it not? This feels wrong. This is wrong. Why did I change this? I think this is meant to be entities that destroy entity in this case, i.e. the bullet. Right? Yeah. Okay, I'm not stupid. You might think I am. I won't answer it. Alright, that looks good. So look at that, chat. Today, because I'm going to have to go to bed, I do have to wake up in like 6 hours. I have to have a shower and stuff. Only occasionally. Thanks. It doesn't matter if you can cook, or you can draw art, or if you have a degree, or if you do STEM job. There's always a reason to be stupid. I can't remember stuff very well if you just say it to me once. Did I tell you I had more thoughts? Because I'm gonna go soon. I'm just gonna give you my thoughts. First of all, next time I think we should work on that mini-map. I think that'll be really fun. I think I'm playing Apex tomorrow. I think Tommy's pre-loaded me in for Apex. Probably. Let's work on the mini-map next time. I think that'll be fun. God, it feels like a proper game, by the way, doesn't it? Just moving around, like all this shit, really old, whatever, pretty cool, very great. But like, just loading into a map and having like a health bar and like an enemy that chases you and shoots you, and like you run around the map and you shoot them. That's sick. So yeah, minimap will be fun. And having bullets collide with walls will be useful. I might also replace this lovely tree texture we've been using with like a fucking piece of stone, because it might make it more obvious you can't shoot over it. What was I going to say? Oh, I had more thoughts. I want to know what you think. I put them on Discord. This is public thought. Because I think if an idea is good enough to steal, it was good. I want to have this game have its own identity, not just be like a Nuclear Throne clone. So I was trying to come up with all sorts of unique mechanics, and as I said before with the enemy AI, I think lots of small basic systems combine to make complex systems, right? I think that's the best way to approach this sort of thing. You have loads and loads of tiny things that just happen to interact. Like if you look at RuneScape, every individual element's basic as shit, but if you combine all of them, it's like insane. Insane game. My thought was like, there could be a lot of tweaks and numbers in the game. One thought is that with weapons, they could have like a weight associated with them, and your character could have a strength associated with them. D&D style, Dark Souls style, I suppose, Fallout. It's a very common RPG trope. So, for example, like a big double rocket launcher might be really heavy, but like a little handgun might be really light, and that could affect how quickly you are able to like move it around. And how quickly you can pull it out. So right now you can just switch between weapons instantly. It could be the case that like the Extinguisher in Team Fortress, or the Degreaser even, weapons affect like switch speed, like how quickly you switch to it. Not switch from, I think switch to. Because then you can quickly switch from a heavy gun to a light gun and go boop, and then back to your heavy gun to do your big bursts. And then boop, boop, boop. That was my thought. It was basically just to encourage you to use different weapons. Like maybe I could have a gun that's really strong, like a super heavy ultra crossbow ballista thing, but it's heavy as fuck. And I don't think guns affecting your actual movement speed is that fun. I think being able to dodge at max speed is pretty cool. Maybe like an insane gun could slow you down while you're shooting it or something, but I think being able to run around at top speed is fun in these kinds of games. Yeah, knockback is a thing as well. But yeah, just having an excuse to sometimes use a lightweight shitty weapon instead of just maxing out two huge guns could be interesting. Isn't that annoying? Well, I don't know. I haven't seen it really, and it's either not been seen because people haven't thought much about it, or because it's shit. So it could be fun to experiment with. It could also be the case that it's a mechanic I implement and only use for like 1 or 2 weapons, like the really special. There could be some special weapon, right? You know how games always have blood launchers that like take your health instead of ammo or something. There could be some weapon type that's like cursed to have like, it's like difficult to aim, but you're rewarded for it. Like if you played Apex, you know that all the guns have different bullet velocities and trajectories, and they all aim differently, and they all have like an aiming pattern. Obviously, bullets are not going to stay completely accurate forever. Guns will have an accuracy associated with them. So it could also be the case that heavy weapons are really inaccurate unless your character has a lot of strength, or you've picked up an upgrade to increase their strength. Like maybe there's like a muscular character that can like, they can accurately shoot a rocket launcher, like in Fallout, or I think even it's the opposite in Nuclear Throne. Steroids is inaccurate, but he dual wields. But you get my point. There can be trade-offs. I just like the idea of characters having as many things different as possible. Like there could be a character that's very nimble and like reloads faster, but can't pick up heavy guns and use them as well as another one. Because it's a roguelite, right? It's okay for some characters to be much better than others on things, because a run will only take like 20 minutes or whatever. I haven't thought that much about it. I think like 15 to 30 minutes is a pretty reasonable roguelite run. And if you're going like infinite, just going for like an hour is chill. And then it starts to get boring. I think having character variety is fun in these things. Like if you play Touhou, some of them have really fucking stupid bullet types. And that's fun. Like it's fun that there's stupid bullet types, so you have variety if you want to do replayability. And there'll obviously be like a meta, like the best character is going to be like some Fox type character that's quick. Because speed is always the most important thing in these games. But it's interesting to have like a hulky character. It's just a thought I had. And it's another dial to tweak. And with roguelites, it's fun to have dials, right? If you could pick up like imagine this, right? This was my thought. You're playing like the lightweight nimble character that switches really quick and reloads really quick or whatever, but you've picked up like a dual rocket launcher and like a pirate ship cannon or something that you have to put down an arm before you shoot it. Something stupid. And you're like, oh, this could be really good if only I get one upgrade. And then you pick up the upgrade that's like infinite strength or something, and suddenly you're able to run around the map as quick as possible, shooting like super fucking guns. That would feel awesome. I love when games can be broken like that. You play like The Binding of Isaac and you get fucking brimstone and mum's knife. Or you just need like one item to break something. To be able to break something, you have to have systems to be broken, right? So having restrictions like slow aim is interesting. You also like to have a plain boring Rainbow 8 characters purely for even game playing around. Oh, I agree. I mean, there can be an Even Stevens character, but I think these games are interesting when there's a variety, right? Like usually when I play Nuclear Throne, I play like YV because he just shoots quick. It doesn't really have a gimmick. Every gun can be a shotgun, and you can shoot quick. But like the other characters are really interesting. Like there's one that like creates clones. There's one that like snares stuff. There's one that has like a shield, there's one that dodge rolls, there's all sorts. And I think you can take it even further. It's basically only steroids that has interactions with guns. I guess Robot eats them, but like, for the most part, any run with a super plasma cannon and a ultra shovel will play the exact same, nearly. And I don't know, I like the idea of maybe my game is its own thing. It's just something to try out, right? If it's bullshit, then I can just not use it. But I think it's fun to at least think about ideas. And yeah, we'll also need to at some point write like a decent... I don't know if A-Star, I was saying before, I don't know if A-Star is still the right like industry standard pathing system, pathfinding. We have a very obvious grid, and we have enemies already thinking on like a 1 second cycle, like a half-second cycle, so having a collision detection run every now and then to like, or like a pathfinding algorithm. Hard to go wrong with A-Star. Like, I've done A-Star. It's not that hard. We did Dijkstra back in uni, and if I remember correctly, A-Star is basically just Dijkstra with heuristics. We can develop heuristics. Maybe there's even some way to fucking bake a nav mesh in when we're generating the map. I don't know. That's a bit complex, maybe. you know, having the enemies be able to path you through the wall could be interesting. Path around the wall. AF2 is a dumb 10-line implementation if you want it. AF2? Yeah, sure. I mean, if you link me whatever. I was just going to research it in my own time. I'm sure there's a trillion articles about it. ASCII Fortress. Oh yeah, go for it. That'd be cool. I would like to try and work it out myself. I don't know if there's anything you can do about that. Maybe you could spoiler tag it or something. Or is there a way can you write it as like pseudocode or something? Because I wanted to try and figure it out because it was something I think I did at uni. Though it felt awesome to use Far Cry's one sniper rifle, the slowest movement of any FPS game played, but it's so enjoyable to have a one-shot kill power. Yeah, fucking, I love like a big revolver that goes slow and just goes bam, bam, bam. We could have like a revolver that's like twice the size of an actual revolver and like knocks you back every time you shoot it, takes a second to fire, but it lets you see further away or something. That was another thought I had, like some guns could zoom you out a stage. You talked about zooming out before. I was thinking about like Terraria style sniper rifles where it literally like lets you pan the camera away. You could have it so like some guns have a scope and if you hold towards the edge you see further and you can snipe stuff. Or even just literally zoom out. But it would have to zoom out on an integer boundary. So it would have to like double or something. So the pixels don't look stupid. I think it's too far from what the pseudocode would look like. You probably have to adapt it. Alright, you can send it then. Was your 10-line solution something you came up with, or is it based on like the Wikipedia page? Because I think I'll still read the Wikipedia page first anyway. It does feel proper to have a video game with a quad tree and an A-star pathing algorithm, doesn't it? Like that's how you know you're making a video game. Quad trees and A-star. But yeah, I mean, these games are all about trying to make silly variety and then using RNG to make something interesting. This visual style is not how the game's gonna look, by the way. I'm sure you've all been like predisposed to these like Pokemon Crystal graphics, but I reckon the game will be a little bit different. A bit more horror-y. Not necessarily horror, but like a bit more dark. This is very cheerful. I don't think the game will be this cheerful. We'll see. For now, we got weapon switching between non-existent weapons. We could work on that as well at some point. You based it on the Wikipedia article, it's from 2017. Alright, I'm sure there's some bugs with it then, right? Anyway, that's it for today. It's half midnight. Did you guys like the programming stream today? That was a solid half a work day of programming. Nice 4 hours. Did you enjoy it? The first half an hour was me talking about it. Oh dear. We managed to implement... What did we do? We slightly changed the collision detection code. We added a health bar, and you can switch your gun, but not really. But the HUD's there. Is that all I did? I wanted to do more. But okay. We started with the HUD. You fixed a bug recently because your heuristic function was so shit it was tanking 99% of the performance. Is the bug fix something I'm going to be able to work out myself? Is it simple? You're just changing like some loop or something? Or hashing function maybe? Did you see the article I posted on Discord? It was someone had written about using... I think it's a pretty common approach with shaders, but they'd written a Perlin noise function that uses a couple of magic numbers instead of hashing stuff. And because you layer it so many times, it kind of hides the grid alignment that you get from using magic numbers. So it still looks like Perlin noise, but it runs a lot faster. I thought that was cool. And then I found out that that's apparently how a lot of Minecraft shaders work. Like, when stuff's on the GPU, you just have all your bunch of stuff that would otherwise hash just with some hard-coded floats somewhere, or some basic maths, replacing the more complicated stuff. The bug fix was to not use different distance scales for the heuristic and actual cost. Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm gonna head off. Thanks for watching, guys. I think I'm playing Apex tomorrow. We'll see if I'm streaming, but otherwise I'll catch you guys whenever. Have a nice evening. Good night. Bye. Bye-bye.